We're live from Kalamazoo, Michigan, home to the most recent national champions of NCAA hockey, the Western Michigan Broncos. Welcome into Blaze on the Road. My name is Colgin Hirschel. Alongside me is Lawson McTeague. Lochlan, we made the trip from Arizona State. We're out here in Kalamazoo. What are you looking forward to most about this series between these two teams?
I mean, first of all, I think it's the atmosphere for you and I. We've heard a lot about the Lawson Lunatics, and they've been filtering into the seats slowly here this evening, and really excited to see what they have in store for us. Heard there's a ton of tradition that goes into their chants and their shenanigans throughout the game, and that's a layer that makes college hockey that much more fun. So I think, first of all, it's got to be the atmosphere, but two, I mean, this Western Michigan team returned a lot of guys, including their goaltender, Hampton Slukinski, from that national championship run last season, and they're right back where they were last year, roughly at this time. They're fourth in the country. When these two teams played each other last year, they were third in the country, I believe, at the time when they came to Tempe. So really looking forward to seeing a high-powered offense here, try to get their first home series win in quite a long time.
Yeah, their last one coming in mid-November. You mentioned that fourth rank in the nation. Last year was a very similar story for Western Michigan, number 3 when they came to Tempe. But for the Sun Devils, it was almost a complete 180. They were a top team in the nation, number 12 in the nation the last time that they faced the Broncos. But it's been a complete 180 this season. They're now fighting for a playoff chance.
Yeah, ASU, they're a young team, and Greg Powers has harped on that a lot, that it's been a process, ongoing, and he's liked what he's seen from some guys, and other guys maybe not so much, who haven't necessarily cracked the lineup, but they're a very, very new group. They were an old group last year, a lot of grad students, a lot of seniors who've left the program since, and they've just been kind of figuring it out. You know, some weekends they're right there, and they should have maybe gotten better results out of it, and we know that they've had a really tough time in third periods this season as well. You wonder if they hold on to a few of those leads, that, you know, we could be looking at a very different standing for Arizona State right now, but they are where they are. They kind of control where they finish, and it doesn't get any easier after Western either. They played Denver on the road as well in the last 6 games.
Yeah, next week it's Omaha, which is almost a more important matchup than this week. Omaha being the last place team in the NCHC. They faced St. Cloud last week and dropped both of those games at home. And it was the last game that really stood out with the Sam Urban mistake. He played a great game, but that last one kind of just felt like a synopsis of what this season has kind of been for Greg Powers.
Yeah, and it was a back-and-forth game that Arizona State fought their way back into. And you know, he gave them credit afterwards that they fought their way back into the game and showed some grit in front of their home fans. But again, it's a mistake that just can't happen in that time from yet another freshman, right? And that's kind of been the mantra for ASU, but they can't, you know, feel sorry for themselves, because they're coming into one of the toughest buildings to play in college hockey against the 4th-ranked team in the country. So they really got to step up their game if they want to steal any kind of points here at Lawson Arena.
Yeah, and that Broncos team coming off of a split against 2 straight opponents in those Omaha Mavericks and Miami, Ohio, who just recently got ranked thanks to their win against Western Michigan in Game 1. That was an overtime win in Oxford, Ohio. But Western Michigan was up 10 games in a row, a win streak for them before they dropped those 2 games to Miami, Ohio, and Omaha. What does Arizona State have to do to get past this Western Michigan team that has been so hot recently?
You got to somehow find a way to slow them down off the rush, and I think that's one thing that Western Michigan can do really, really well, is they create so well off the rush, and they generate speed in the neutral zone really well. So trying to clog up that neutral ice, not allow them to attack you in the offensive zone with speed, because they've got a ton of skilled guys on both the forward and defensive end of things. And again, Greg Powers said this is a team that really has no holes. So clog things up in the neutral zone, try not to let them get speed coming into your attacking zone, and, you know, try and fend off the crowd here.
I believe Buster the Bronco is on the ice, getting the crowd amped up. The players are about to come out of their dressing rooms to get announced, and the national anthem will follow shortly. We'll take a short break here on Blaze Radio. When we come back, puck drop from Lawson Arena. We're back on Blaze Radio live from Lawson Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Colgin, Hirschel, and Lochlan McTeague with you. National anthem just finished up. We'll go through the starting goaltenders here tonight. First, for the visitors, Western Michigan Broncos. Who else but Hampton's Lukinski? Lochlan, what can you tell me about him?
He is automatic between the crease. He's started all 30 games this season. They brought in a graduate student in Kirk Lawson from Miami, Ohio. Didn't really need to, because Lukinski's just carried the torch in the net, and he has been for the last 2 years. He backstopped them to a national championship and was nearly automatic last season. His numbers were absolutely insane, and they are once again this season. He's got a .910 save percentage, 2.40 goals against average, 20-8 on the year. He's won with this team, he's lost with this team, and he's been so good. He's been their rock and one of the X factors, really, for this Western Michigan team that is so talented top to bottom.
And then in net for the visitors, Arizona State Sun Devils, it will be Connor Hasley. Sam Urban got both starts last weekend, and Connor Hasley is making his first start since January 30th.
Yeah, and you go with the veteran. I like that move. You go into a tough environment, tough building. You don't want to throw your freshman goaltender in there off rip. And Hasley's a senior. He's been here before, and he's played well in tough environments, and you need a big one out of him tonight for Arizona State.
It'll be Owen Michaels facing off against Logan Morrell at center ice here from Lawson Arena. And we are underway. Arizona State in their retro maroon jerseys. Western Michigan in white, going from right to left. Arizona State from left to right. Thank you for joining us here on this Friday evening. Puck is behind the net with Whitelaw. Gets it to the point to Scholand across the ice. It's with Bookman. Get it down low. Out in front, pass to Michaels. Gets it right back to the point for Bookman, who fires it. Left pad saved by Hasley. Schoberg gets it up to Alfano, deflected in the middle as Western Michigan takes control right back with Whitelaw. He'll try a shot from the corner, goes over the net. The Sun Devils take back possession right away across center and will dump it in. Western Michigan clears it out to center. Court pokes it forward. Lucius on the puck now. It's with Valente. Get it across the ice to Volk. Throw a backhander behind the net of Hasley. Slukinski in the corner. Multiple man scramble is flipped out towards center. Will go all the way down the ice, but not far enough for icing. Oh, it will. And Volk will touch up. 18:51 left in the first period.
And you saw right off the top there that Hendricks, Michaels, and Whitelaw line. They're so good, so fast, and they were just attacking in waves. Seemed endless first shift, and just a tough one for the Alfano, Morrell, and Powell line out there to start. They were basically skating circles around each other.
The first line for the Sun Devils in McGurn, Shimmick, and Lucius will go against the third line of Bobby Cowan, Eero Hakarainen, and Zach Beatty. Beatty in the corner. Court chases after it. Marks with Bobby Cowan. Out of the corner is Hakarainen. He backhands it on. Rebound to Beatty, and it just goes across the crease. There's a penalty coming up to the Sun Devils. Pinching down from the point is Sharp. Barron touches up. That will lead to the first power play of the game early, just a minute and 30 seconds in.
Looks like it's Cruz Lucius, the senior forward, getting the gate for Arizona State. Kind of missed the call, but looks like it was a stick infraction.
It's a slash indeed. It's power play for Western Michigan, 34th in the nation at 18.4%. 82.1% is the PK for ASU, tied third. Michaels will be on the draw for Western Michigan. To the left of Hasley. Smolin wins it back, but Western Michigan takes control. To Hakarainen in the far corner. Smolin fakes the slap. He'll drop it to Court. He'll look to launch it down the ice. Bozer will rim it around the boards and will clear for the Sun Devils. Western Michigan regroups from their own zone. It's with Bookman. He'll drop it back for Whitelaw. The Wolverine transfer through center across the blue line will spin back to the point now with Bookman. Left side Whitelaw. Across the ice, skate to stick to Cowan. Michaels in the middle. Looking down low for Hakarainen, who scored the overtime goal last year against the Sun Devils. Shot thrown wide by Cowan. In the middle now, Michaels fires it just over the left side of Hasley. A couple guys scrambling for it just inside the blue line. Michaels takes control for Western Michigan. Down low for Beatty or Cowan. Couldn't get it to him. That was Whitelaw. Michaels to Cowan in front. Glove save by Hasley, in and out. Whitelaw regroups at the point. Bookman at the top. Good stick by Shelberg. William Whitelaw in the corner. And it's cleared all the way down the other side of the ice by the Sun Devils. 35 seconds to go on the power play for Western Michigan. Bookman will drop it. It's with Wisdom. Zachariah Wisdom to Garrett Slukinski. It's Grant Slukinski who goes around the net. Will throw it in front. Hasley almost fell down. It's Western Michigan's trying to center it. They can't. ASU will clear the zone for the moment being and all the way down the other side of the ice. Just 10 seconds to go in the Western Michigan power play. Scholand out of his own zone slowly. Will drop it for Grant Slukinski. Wisdom back to Slukinski. Into the zone. Wisdom will fire a shot blocked in front by McGurn. Lucius's penalty is over. Another shot is blocked by McGurn. It goes into the rafters and drops down right to Slukinski. And another shot, and they score! The puck fell right to Ty Hendricks, and he capitalizes. It's the first goal of the game for Western Michigan, taking a 1-0 lead.
Boy, as broken of a play as it gets right there. Cruz Lucius was streaking after he got out of the penalty box. Bennett Shimmick tried to flip pass it over, and he fanned on it, and then there was a melee in the high slot. Got the puck and just rips it by the blocker side of Connor Hasley. This place is on its feet.
We're almost 4 minutes through this first period. The Sun Devils are still shotless as the Broncos take the 1-0 lead. The chants are already getting going here for Western Michigan fans and the Lawson Lunatics. Sun Devils still looking for their first shot. It's with Sidlowski who gets it out. At center ice now, Bozer will dump it in. Hampton Slukinski, the goaltender, will give it to Volk, who will work up ice. Off the boards, Huck trying to get past it. It's with McKenzie. He's down the right side as the whistle blows for offsides. 15:41 left in the first period.
And again, you mentioned it, Colgin, that big thing there, the Sun Devils are still without a shot on goal. So about as bad of a start as you can think of if you're Greg Powers' squad. Not only have you not established zone time or had any kind of presence in the offensive zone, you've taken a penalty and given up a goal early.
Yeah, the Sun Devils give up the fourth amount of shots in the nation. Big collision there from Alfano and Beatty on that far side. They're tied 28th in the nation in shots for our Arizona State, but they're at zeros right now.
And on the other side, you're facing a scoring offense in Western Michigan that's putting up around 3.75 goals a game and getting over 30 shots a game on average as well. I believe it's like 34.5 shots a game roughly.
Yeah, you'd be right. 33.9 is Western Michigan, 104 goals for. It's 8th in the nation, so they can put the puck in the back of the net, and they've already proved it here, up 1-0. Puck's at the point with Callback. He couldn't keep it in. Callback came over from Chicago Steel early in January to join this Broncos team. He's been a good addition with 2 assists through 6 games. Sharp keeps it at the line. Tries to pass in front to Hakkarainen, couldn't connect. Powell chasing after it. Big hit as one gets sent into the bench by Morrell. Right into the Sun Devil bench as they come back the other way. Hakkarainen with the shot. That was Bobby Cowan who got sent into the Sun Devil bench. I don't think I've seen that live ever. His whistle was blown as one coming off the ice for Western Michigan touched the puck. That faceoff will come just outside of Western Michigan's zone.
And Colgin, I was just about to say, ASU needs a big hit. They need something. And Logan Morrell just took, I believe that was Eero Hakkarainen, into the Sun Devil bench.
I think I saw Cowan jump out. I'm not quite sure, but that is absolutely what Arizona State needs. And they throw their first line right back out there respectively. Both of the first lines for these teams match up. Face-off won by Michaels of Western Michigan. Lawson tipped in by Hendricks, the goal scorer here tonight. Puck kept in the line by Hendricks. He gets it right back. But McGurn comes out for Arizona State and will dump it in. Lucius chases after it with Bookman. McGurn takes control. Shimmick couldn't get a shot on net. He was wide open in front, but just fanned on the shot attempt. Dowd in his own zone to Shimmick, and he'll tip it in. First line still remains for ASU. McGurn in the corner. Behind the net to Lucius. Tried it behind the legs. Pass to Shimmick. In front, it connects. McGurn's digging for it. Slukinski grabs his leg, and he covers up. A near scoring opportunity for the Sun Devils registers their first shot of the game.
And just another broken play again. And one thing that I noticed for Hampton Slukinski in warm-ups is, like last year and even a lot of times this year, the puck just tends to stick to him. There's not a lot of rebounds. And the puck wasn't sticking to him in warm-ups. And that was the case right there. Bennett Shimmick on the doorstep. He couldn't fight it off. The puck was loose. He was in a full splits at the near post, and he's lucky that he was able to trap that with his skate against the post, or else Cruz Lucius would have banged that one home.
Yeah, and there was a couple skaters in his crease as well. One was McGurn for ASU. Face off to Slukinski's right. It'll be Smolin matching against the other Slukinski in Grant Slukinski. Smolin wins the faceoff, but Western Michigan takes control and out of the zone. Bozer gives a weak backhander back in to the offensive side. Wisdom back for Western Michigan. He works into the offensive zone, drops it for Valente. It's in the far left corner. The whistle does blow. So I believe they were calling for potentially a hand pass. I'm not really too sure, but our vantage point here at Lawson Arena is very interesting. We're kind of blocked off by the main press box. We're currently on scaffolding, which is one of the first times in my career, if not the first time, of calling a game on scaffolding.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever been in this position before, but you know what? I kind of like it.
It's a fantastic view, though, that what we have. We're just a little obstructed to our left. But nonetheless, Western Michigan has control in the offensive zone. It's behind the net with Zachariah Wisdom going to battle with Bozer. They both go to the ground. Still in that far corner. Smolin and Slukinski join. It comes out to Keevan. Ben Keevan chips it off the boards and around. He'll chase after it. Volk behind his own net. Drops it for Theo Wahlberg, who picks up a couple of strides on the left side and out of the zone, now into the offensive zone. Give a pass across to McKenzie. Will backhand it off the side of the net. Tucker Ness playing forward for Arizona State with the absence of Braxton Whitehead. Nice reception by Barron behind his own back, but couldn't get it out of the zone. Sadlowski keeps control behind the net. Fanned on a backhand attempt. Ty Nash comes after it for ASU as it comes out with Sharp across for callback and will dump it in for the Broncos. 12:40 left in the first period. Still 1-0 Western Michigan on the Ty Hendricks goal. It's with Achille on the right side. Zach Sharp back for Western Michigan as Moore joined for the Broncos. Sharp up the boards for Beatty, and a huge hit again, this time from Noah Powell on the far side. Anthony Dowd will dump it in. Another huge hit here for Arizona State. Morrell in front for Powell, off the right pad of Slukinski into the corner. Couple of opportunities early for Arizona State, but can't get it past Hampton Slukinski, the reigning NCHC goaltender of the month for January. Morrell with a 2-on-1 has Alfano. He'll shoot it himself off the shoulder of Slukinski, and he grabs onto it with 11:53 left in the first period.
Yeah, and this is good from Arizona State. They're slowly starting to generate, right? You get a chance at net front, and then Noah Powell throws a big hit and gets a good pass out front. And again, Hampton Slukinski, that's why he's so good. He was inactive for the first 5 or so minutes, but has come up with 2 massive saves here. Great opportunities for ASU, but again, got to be encouraging, right? I said it before, you had probably one of the worst starts you could have in this building. Take a penalty, give up a goal in the first 5 minutes, not what you want to do on the road in any building, let alone Lawson Arena. But, you know, you wake up and you show signs of life, and that's what ASU has been doing so far.
Yeah, and it's been that second line of Alfano, Morrell, and Powell who have been together pretty much the entire season. They had a little bit of a stretch where they were taken off of the same line a couple weeks ago, but for the most part, it's been those three together, and they're the rock for this ASU team. They are physical, they can score, they can pretty much do it all for Greg Powers.
Yeah, and Alfano's a guy who's big and skilled. Morell's a guy who's big and can win you a lot of faceoffs and play defensively. And then Powell's kind of the spark plug in it all because he's a really physical player, and he's got a nifty touch around the net and can finish around the net. So it's kind of three players that all have a lot of size, a lot of skill, and can also play fast.
Yeah, and we saw the hits from Powell and Morell. Everyone on that line over 6'2", with the shortest being Noah Powell at 6'2", 215 pounds, out of Northbrook, Illinois. Greg Powers will elect for his top line of Shimmick, Lucius, and McGurn. A line that has been streaky but hasn't really been connecting as of late. No points in the last 3 games for Lucius. Shimmick was held pointless versus St. Cloud, the first time all year he was held pointless in a series. Cruz Lucius hasn't scored in 10 games, 22 on the power play. So this is a line that, for Greg Powers, has to get going if they want to have any success in this barn. It'll be a face-off to the left of Slukinski. Tie-up, won by Western Michigan. Bozer, slapper from the point, blocked in front. Schelberg will get the puck, will fire another shot, easily sticked away by Slukinski. Zachariah Wisdom out of his own zone. Trying to chip it around, but the Sun Devils stymie that. Bozer goes back in the far corner for around his own net. Schelberg right back across to Bozer, up the ice for Shimmick. One touches it to McGurn. Drops it for Lucius, looking for Shimmick in the middle. Couldn't connect with him. As Shimmick's taken to the ground. Valente through center. Slukinski on the right. That's the left. In the corner now, Barron. Just slap it right back to where it came from. Valente will spin it around, looking for Slukinski around the net. They'll connect. Whitelaw up at the point. Wahlberg, one-time attempt from Volk, goes into the chest of Hasley, and he holds on. 10:53 left in the first period. Still 1-0 Broncos.
You can see how dangerous Western Michigan is. We mentioned it off the rush, but a 3-on-3 rush chance up ice, and then it creates just the cycle being started by Western Michigan. And a couple good opportunities there, ending in Connor Hasley saving that. But you can see something as simple as a man-on-man rush going up ice leads to a lengthy defensive zone shift for Arizona State.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if you're Connor Hasley, if you're a little cold. You've only played 4 games since the new year. You're making your first start since January 30th. Here's a shot coming from Ty Hendricks, but he gave up a quick one. But after that, he's looked pretty solid. Keevan chips it around the defender. Crandell comes in for help. It's up the wall with Wahlberg. Looks across the ice. Michaels looking in for Hendricks. They couldn't connect. As Hasley will just paddle it and glove it. 10:28 to go in the first.
Shots finally kind of evening out on the board for both teams here. And again, ASU, they seem to have woken up here, but Western, again, a great start for them and playing in front of a pretty packed building. People were saying they weren't sure how full it was going to be. Boy, not a lot of empty seats here tonight by at least the eye test.
We also had a couple of fans come up and talk to us about the fact that they're not satisfied with the way their team's performing because they're not number one. And that just kind of speaks to the culture that Western Michigan has built up here in Kalamazoo, that they're not satisfied until they're number one, which they collected last year with the national championship, but they're looking to defend that title this season. Huck across the blue line will take it himself, drops it. They fire and score! Garrett Sidlowski! Just as we were talking about, those quick ones add up. It's now 2-0 for the Broncos halfway through the first period.
If you ask any coach, where is the worst place to turn the puck over? It's the blue lines, either your own blue line or the opposing blue line. Arizona State turns it over inexcusably at their own blue line. Puck goes the other way, feeds Sidlowski, and it's a shot low to the glove side. They've been targeting that glove side of Hasley early here, and it's been working for them.
Yeah, already 2 goals on the board. 8-5 are the shots in favor of Western Michigan, and the Sun Devils are down 2-0 early. Court is behind his own net, waiting for his team to set up. First line once again out for Arizona State. It's with Lucius at the red line. Spins off one. Gives it to Shimmick up ice. Barron pinches in from the point to help out in the corner. Lucius with it. Faces adversity from callback. Shimmick up to the point with McGurn. will backhand it back down low. Barron's stuck in the corner for ASU, but Lucius holds on to it. Pass out in front for McGurn doesn't connect as Court has to race back for it for Arizona State. Barron across for Shimmick. They'll stop up right at the blue line. Off the skate of Court. Lucius looking to rim it around the Ness. He gives a hit to Kolbeck. Grant Slukinski through center with lots of speed. Cuts around Kipke. He'll fire a backhand on Hasley. Is stopped. Out of the corner is Wisdom to the point for Bookman. Wisdom right side. He'll fire just over the right side of Hasley. So Arizona State is able to clear with Achille. He's got lots of speed as he works in on Sholin. Sholin goes to the ground after Achille hits him. And another hit coming from Tony Achille. Looks like physicality is definitely one of the game plans that head coach Greg Powers talked about before the game.
And Ty Nash just threw another hit there. ASU definitely, when they were at their most physical, they had Western on the ropes. And there's going to be a penalty here. Ty Nash was forechecking, and there was fully 6 guys on the ice for probably 5 to 7 seconds here. Someone's going to get the gate. I'm surprised it didn't get called earlier. ASU actually didn't touch the puck. But there was 5 guys backing off in the neutral zone. So they're clear miscommunication. Again, it's going from bad to worse here already, and we're just over halfway through the first period.
It's a good vantage point from Lochlan McTeague, as it looks like Court's going to get the gate. No, they're sending out the penalty unit. Looks like Shimmick's going to head to the box for ASU. They had to send one guy out who was on the ice.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Lucius.
And now Lucius is going to replace Shimmick in the box.
So Lucius has been in the box twice. And
Shimmick thought he was getting sent to the penalty box. Instead, he's going to actually have to take this faceoff on the penalty kill. It'll be Smolin and Michaels. As the stick breaks of Michaels, he'll have to head to the bench for a new twig. Behind the net with Hakkarainen. Shimmick takes control off the boards, can't get it out. Kept it at the line with Bookman. Left side with Whitelaw. Bookman at the top. Gets it right back. Quarterbacking this power play. Cowan back to Bookman. They're just playing pitch and catch at the moment. Cowan in front for Hakkarainen. He spins and shoots, and Hasley gets there quicker with just under 8 minutes left in this first period.
This has been a good-looking power play so far for Western Michigan. And not only is it the crisp puck movement, but Owen Michaels is playing the bumper man on the 1-3-1. And he's drawing those side defenders towards him. And he's also drawing the net front guy up in the slot. And that's why they did that down-low play to Hakkarainen, who was wide open and just pulled it forehand, backhand, and had a shovel play out front of Hasley. A terrific look for this Western Michigan power play. That's what they were setting up the entire time.
Yeah, they didn't even have Valente on the ice. He leads this Western Michigan team in power play goals with 8. Third in the NCAA. He's out there now with the second unit for the Broncos. Face off 1-2 quickly by Western Michigan, so it comes out of the zone. 1:25 left on the too many men penalty against ASU. Morrell swats it out of the zone once again for the Sun Devils. Shots are 11-5, 7:43 left in the first, 2-0 Western Michigan. Slukinski, Sholin, across for Valente, he just misses. Hendricks gets it right back from the corner. It's at the point with Sholin. Hendricks calls for it. He gets it. Down low in front with Wisdom. Battling for it. Rebounds there. Is it in? Waiting for the signal. Yes, it is. Western Michigan scores on the power play. Western Michigan makes it 3-0 on the power play. The aforementioned Liam Valente adds a team-leading 9th power play goal for Western Michigan.
Just a mad scramble around Connor Hasley. Again, it was that jam play low at the goal line. This time it was Zachariah Wisdom. They whacked away at it. There was about 8 guys collectively in the crease there, and it seemed like the whistle was going to go. Hasley was on his back in the back of the net, and finally Valente was Johnny on the spot at the far post. And again, the 9th power play goal of the season. He's got 17 total goals this year as well.
Greg Powers is going to have a word with referee Sterling Egan at the bench. We've seen a lot of coaches' challenges from Greg Powers this season, some more successful than others. You wonder if that's going to be pulled out of his bag early. 3-0 Western Michigan. Just 3.5 minutes past the halfway point of this first period. It's been all Broncos.
Arizona, yeah, I was going to say Arizona State, they look stunned. They had about 2.5 good minutes, a couple good shifts that they stacked on top of each other, but since then they've looked absolutely stunned here in Kalamazoo. We'll see what's going on.
Arizona State will challenge.
So goaltender interference is what they're going to say, and I think the question is, was Wisdom pushed in by a defenseman, or did Wisdom fall into Connor Hasley? And, of course, they usually don't show the replays off the hop here, so we kind of have to play a little bit of a guessing game.
If this isn't a successful challenge for head coach Greg Powers, if it's nothing else, it's a timeout for his team to settle down and get back into the play. He had his first line huddled up right at the bench with Shelberg and Bozer, but a failed challenge does lose your timeout in the NCHC. No penalty is given to the other team. So maybe this is just a moment for his team to calm down. All 5 of the Arizona State skaters are huddled over by the ASU bench, talking amongst themselves. The 3 goal scorers, Ty Hendricks, Liam Valente, and Garrett Sedlowski for Western Michigan.
Yeah, if they don't right the ship here, I mean, you're already in a hole. If they don't right the ship here, then it almost is like pack your bags for the night territory for ASU. And I mean, credit to Western. For as good of a building as this is, their record at home is just 6-5. It's shocking. They've dropped games to teams that they shouldn't be dropping games to, and they not only do they not play a lot of home games, they played a lot of neutral site and road tournaments this season, but they haven't really held their standard on home ice. And for them, this is kind of a prove-it series of you have a team who's kind of trying to sniff out some blood here on Western Michigan, as trying to take advantage of their subpar home record, at least to their standards. And Western's come out and just given them the gates so far, just absolutely dominated play so far in this first period.
The referees are still in the penalty box reviewing this goal. It's got to be a close one, but Arizona State could most certainly use 3, if not 6 points from this weekend. Sitting just 1 point ahead of Omaha for last place in the NCHC. As Greg Powers talked about earlier, we're getting a look at the replay on the board.
So this
really
is interesting because Wisdom was pushed in, and he was on an E. We'll hear the call in a second. Wow.
So the call will stand. It is a goal. It wasn't confirmed, however. So the Sun Devils will lose their timeout. It's 3-0 Western Michigan. Greg Powers is still talking with Sterling Egan at the bench.
The thing that gets me on that is Wisdom was on one knee in the crease as Valente was trying to shovel this puck into the net, and I guess there wasn't enough conclusive evidence because Wisdom was pushed in.
Yeah, they said the goal stands and not confirmed, so there wasn't enough conclusive evidence to overturn it. 3-0 Western Michigan. Shelberg in his near corner. McGurn up the boards. Arizona State needs something quick, and they need it now. Lucius tried to pick off a pass from Hampton Slukinski, but they get it back. McGurn's in front. They fire. Another save by Slukinski. Rebound still there. Shot fired over the net by Shimmick. Hawker-Reinen lifts it out of the zone, and it falls right to Bozer, who tries to slap it forward. So Arizona State comes that close once again to trying to claw their way back into this game. It's with Lucius in the corner. Back up to the point for Bozer. Across for Shelberg. He'll walk the line. Now lift it down low. Trying to shot on Shimmick. A great save there by Hampton Slukinski, sliding from right to left.
Oh my goodness. The Lawson Lunatics are reacting just as I would react, taking a bow to Hampton Slukinski. What a job by Bennett Shimmick to find a soft area on his forehand. Great job by Shelberg to walk the line and shovel one towards the goal on his backhand. That was a perfectly created chance by the Sun Devils, but you just can't help Slukinski sliding to his left and robbing you with the glove.
And that's what makes this Western Michigan team so good, is they can put up 3 goals on you in the first half of the first period, and you can still get so many quality opportunities, yet they have the Rock and Hampton Slukinski minding the crease for them. And he's been that way all year long, and he's really showed his prowess here tonight.
And it's one of those things, you see it's an X factor with teams at any level of hockey. When you have a hot goaltender and you have one of the best goaltenders in his position, I mean, your offense plays more aggressive and you score more because you know if you give up a couple chances, your goaltender more than likely is going to bail you out on a lot of those. And Hampton Slukinski has bailed them out a ton over the years. And that's not to say that the Western Michigan defense isn't sound. That's just to say how good of a goaltender Hampton Slukinski has been.
I'm sure he's been fed a lot this season, but I think he's going to be due a couple more steaks after that save that he just made. Still 3-0. 6:30 to go in the first period. Faceoff will be to the left of Slukinski. It'll be Tyler McKenzie and Kyle Smolin on the faceoff. Ben Keevan is lined up right behind Kyle Smolin in the one-timer position. With Crandell to his left. Western Michigan wins the faceoff and immediately clears. Keene will send it down the length of the ice, no icing. Slukinski now with Sharp, who will off the glass and out. And it goes out of the rink as well. Just another 10-15 seconds off the clock.
This is an important face-off here, and Smolin's been hot and cold in the dot for ASU, and all across the board for Western. They're a pretty good face-off team overall. As Keevan moves away from that one-timer position, I think you can't go so aggressive on the face-offs and just try and control more zone time and try and control the possession off the dot.
Yeah, because it's been hard to beat Slukinski, but you're just going to need to get as many shots as you possibly can, and that's going to come with possession. Western Michigan is the 5th best team in face-off percentage as a team with 54%. ASU at 18th with 51%. Western Michigan comes away with it. Callback rims it around and faces a check from Smolin. ASU gets the puck back. Slukinski to the corner. McKenzie. It's with Sharp. Taken down Keevan. Has Smolin to his left. He passes it to Smolin. He fires and scores! Kyle Smolin gets Arizona State on the board. It's 3-1 with 5:54 left in the first.
Seems like all the plays are broken. Seemingly something of nothing. Ben Keevan, terrific feed. He had his first career multi-assist game Saturday against Omaha. He follows that up, and boy, Kyle Smolin, not necessarily known as a goal scorer, that corner was absolutely picked above the blocker side of Hampton Slukinski.
Kyle Smolin loves seeing the Broncos on the schedule. He had 2 goals and an assist in the series last year against Western Michigan in Tempe. That one's chipped into the bench of the Broncos. This season, he gives Arizona State their first goal in Lawson Arena since 2017.
And historically as well, Colgin, the Sun Devils and Broncos, it's gone the way of the Sun Devils so far in points. They've taken 4 of 6 in each of the first 2 times that they've played. With this scoreline and with this Western Michigan team, it's going to take a monumental effort on both nights for that to play out.
Yeah, we talked about it in the opener, the series in Tempe last year, which was number 12 Sun Devils and number 3 Broncos. The atmosphere in Tempe was very similar to this in Lawson Arena in Kalamazoo. Arizona State with the puck off the glove of Sholin. It's with Alfano who dumps it in. We'll see if that Kyle Smolin goal will give ASU any light. Alfano on the half wall. Whitelaw takes control. He'll chip it up. Here comes Western Michigan right back. Hendricks looking for Whitelaw across the ice. He'll go behind the net. It's with Hendricks once again. He'll fire it from the half wall. It just goes through the crease of Hasley. Michaels for Hendricks. He'll circle around, finds Whitelaw, and a beautiful glove save by Connor Hasley. The goaltenders are flashing the leather here in Kalamazoo.
Goodness, that's a confidence-saving stop from Connor Hasley. Whitelaw's their second leading goal scorer now after that Valente goal. Whitelaw's got 16 of his own this season, and he's a sharp shooter from his one-timer side on that left circle, and Hasley just stretches post to post and gets the glove on that one.
Face-off won by Slukinski to the right of Hasley. There's a shot fired to the right of him as it comes out of the zone. That is a huge save for ASU. If that puck goes across the line, I don't know what you're doing if you're Greg Powers. It's Volk out of his own zone. To Wisdom, back to Volk. Looking in front to Slukinski, couldn't find him. It goes to the corner now. Valente had it in his feet and just pressured it to the point. Wisdom was not there, so he has to chase back into his own zone for it. 4:40 left in the first period. It's a 3-1 Western Michigan lead. Kyle Smolin with the most recent goal in this hockey game. Volk will chip it in. It's Court in the corner. Drop pass it to Lincoln Keene, but it goes past him. Callback was looking for a couple Broncos in the middle. It's with Valente who fires a shot into the chest of Hasley.
And credit to the Broncos there. I mean, the Sun Devils, after that goal, you could see their response line right away was that Morel, Alfano, and Powell line, and the Broncos came out with their top line of Hendricks, Michaels, and Whitelaw. And they just seem to know where each other are at all times. They fit so well and mesh so well. All three of them are such skilled individual players, and putting them together on that line is really created a lot of problems for Arizona State tonight.
2 of the 3 on that top line for Western Michigan are drafted. Hendricks to the Rangers in New York. Whitelaw to the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's the third line for Western Michigan as Kyle Smolin is tossed from the draw. Ben Keevan will come in. Face-off 1. It's Harkarainen. Here comes Ben Keevan. He's got some space down the left side. He's looking to beat out Zach Sharp, but Sharp was much quicker to the puck than Keevan. Sharp circles around the net. It's Cowan on the left side with Harkarainen. He's got Beatty to his left. Harkarainen's taken down by Schellberg as the Sun Devils touch up, and it'll be the third power play of the period for Western Michigan as Schellberg heads to the box.
Yeah, just not a good penalty to take if you're Joel Schellberg. Not only are you one of ASU's top penalty killers and logs a lot of minutes on the PK as well for them that they're going to be missing, but just seemed like a bit of a lazy play there as it was a 2-on-1 developing, and Joel Schellberg got beat on the 3-on-2, and he just stuck his stick right in the midsection of Harkarainen, and you can't do that, unfortunately.
Joel Schellberg, just 12 penalty minutes on the season. It's the third power play for Western Michigan in this period alone, which has 4:01 left. Face-off won once again by the Broncos. It's Valente who's circling to the point with Scholand. Left side with Slukinski. Wisdom circles in the corner. Back to Slukinski. He has it in the corner. Just setting things up for the Broncos. Back to the point for Scholand. Right back to Slukinski as Scholand's taken down by Tucker Ness at the point. Big hit by him. So that shot from Valente is thrown into the net with tree left in the first period.
It's pretty rare you see an open ice hit on a penalty kill. Tucker Ness just throwing his large frame there at, what was it, the point man, Slukinski?
Scholand.
Or Sam Scholand as well, but yeah, very rare. And he's a guy who's been a jack-of-all-trades individual for the Sun Devils, does everything he's asked of, forward, defense, penalty kill. Haven't seen him on the power play yet. But
yeah, he's played the last 3 games at forward with the injury to Braxton Whitehead. Another shot thrown on is handled rather hard by Hasley. The puck comes out of the zone with 1:22 remaining in the Western Michigan power play. So far in the night, Western Michigan owns the dot. 19-5 are the faceoffs in favor of the Broncos. That's been very apparent. They've had the possession pretty much every single time off the draw. It's with Cowan who spins off in the zone. Far side with Whitelaw, bounces over his stick. Harkarainen hacks it to Cowan. Up at the point with Bookman. His first power play for Western Michigan. Cowan to Harkarainen at the side of the net. It's now behind. Tucker Ness trying to work in on it. Smolin as well is there. Harkarainen comes away with it. Cowan right side. 45 left on the penalty to Joel Schellberg. Shot from the point fired by Bookman, saved by Hasley, makes the second one too. The net pops off for the second, it's still there in the crease. Another one comes in from Western Michigan. There's about 7 players in the crease of Connor Hasley. And yet no goals are scored with 2:38 to go.
What a wacky sequence that was. Puck just thrown to the net. And I could have sworn the net popped off its moorings and got reattached, and that's why the play wasn't stopped. I mean, that's the second time Hasley's been on his rear end with his back laying against the netting of his own goal in this hockey game so far. And again, a big hit by Tucker Ness. He came flying in and
took out, I think, Kyle
Smolin as well. Yeah, Smolin was the bowling ball on that one. As he just got taken into by a Western player who ended up falling on top of him because of the brute force of Tucker Ness.
Depending on how this series pans out, we might have to ask Kyle Smolin how it feels to take a hit from Tucker Ness.
Can't imagine very good.
Definitely not. Logan Morrell and Slukinski on the draw. Once again won by Western Michigan. Shot from the point from Scholand is blocked somewhere in front. 30 to go on the power play for the Broncos. As Arizona State takes possession with McGurn. He's got one to his left, that's Morrell. He'll just elect to put it behind the net of Slukinski. Scholand out for Western Michigan. 16 on the penalty. Wisdom through the Bronco logo, across the blue line. Valente on the right. Scholand now at the point. He'll fire. Just goes over the net. It's right behind the net of Hasley, and Western Michigan regains possession. 2 seconds on the penalty as ASU has killed off the Shellbirds. Minor. Valente, right side. Walking towards the net. Now behind it. Still with possession. Marked by Morrell. Valente spins around him at the blue line. He'll fire off the shoulder of Hasley. Sharp. He'll fire himself. Another stop by Hasley. He's been peppered in this period. 1:37 to go. Puck's in the corner. Taken by McGurn. He'll fire it off the boards and down the ice. And it will go far enough for icing. 1:27 to go here in the first period from Lawson Arena. Western Michigan currently leading Arizona State 3-1.
I don't understand that from Sean McGurn. You have no one around you. Your goaltender was about to cover it, and you poke it away, and then you throw it off the glass and out. I mean, if they lose this face-off here, you got fresh bodies on the ice for Western Michigan against a tired 5-man unit for Arizona State.
80% on the draw is Western Michigan, but ASU gets the face-off and will chip it towards center. 2 race off for ASU. 3 remain for the Sun Devils. Whitelaw down low for Cowan. Up at the point for Wahlberg. He'll fire. Stopped by Hasley. Another shot. Another block in front by the Sun Devils. 1:08 to go in the period. Chipped out towards center by Barron. Finds Lucius. He'll go across the ice for Shimmick. He's got some white ice. He cuts towards the middle, but a nice poke check there by Owen Michaels separates any sort of attempt for Bennett Shimmick. We're in the final 60 seconds of period number 1. Still that 2-goal lead for Western. It's chipped shortly into the zone by Cowan. Dowd takes control and chips it out towards center. Lucius racing into Bookman, who goes behind his own net. Shimmick comes for help. Cowan at his blue line. Off the boards. So with Sidlowski, he cuts towards the middle. Looking for the drop pass to McKenzie, but it goes in on net of Hasley, and he covers with 31 to go in the period.
And boy, Cruz Lucius, I guess if you're an ASU fan, luckily was able to not get hurt on that hard hit by the boards over there, but it was able to find one of his best buddies, Bennett Shimmick. But again, you got 2 guys in the middle. Why not take the space wide and try and get a shot? I get that there's not a lot of guys with you, but going at the other 2 guys and then having it go back the other way, that's just not the best move in that case for Bennett Shimmick.
That's been a lack of opportunity really for ASU. They've only gotten 9 shots in this first period. They've had a couple of high-quality ones. More so quality over quantity. 25 on the clock. ASU wins the draw in their own zone. It's with Shellberg. Up for Powell, dumps it in. Bookman back for it for Western. 16 on the clock. Alfano in the corner. Has it go by him. Racing after it with Bookman and Sidlowski. Alfano looking to take possession. Powell comes in with a big hit. 5 on the clock. Shot fired towards Slukinski. He didn't see it. 2-1. That will do it for the first 20 minutes here from Kalamazoo, Michigan, inside of Lawson Arena. 3-1 Western Michigan. And it was really all Broncos in that first period.
Boy, was it ever, and you couldn't ask for a better start for Pat Ferschweiler's team. They came out flying. They used the crowd to their advantage. They came out flying. They got a power play goal. They were working the puck around, and they dominated the Sun Devils in that period. I'd say Arizona State played maybe 3-4 good minutes of hockey that they got good opportunities on in that period. Every time else, it was peppering shots on Connor Hasley. I mean, 23-9. You're not going to expect to be tighter at head after a period when you give up 23 shots alone. I mean, Western Michigan, credit to them. They're absolutely flying tonight. They came to play.
And you can't discredit the play of Hampton Slukinski either. He made a couple of 10-bellers on ASU. You know, the one from Shimmick where he was cutting across, that was probably the best save of the period. I mean, he's only faced 9 shots. He's let in 1 goal. It could easily be a 3-3 hockey game right now if it wasn't for Slukinski.
Absolutely, and Shimmick's been robbed twice, right? He had that chance at the goal mouth earlier to get them on the board once, and it was the only thing that beat Hampton Slukinski was a cross-crease pass and an absolutely perfect shot inside the crossbar from Kyle Smolin. Other than that, Slukinski's got it all covered, really, and that's the kind of shot that's going to beat Hampton Slukinski these days, and Bennett Shimmick learned that the hard way. But for ASU, you just got to stick with it and trust that you can get back to those good 3 to 4 minutes of hockey, because they were working the puck around, they were doing good things and establishing themselves. It's just they weren't doing that enough, and that was the issue for them, and the Broncos ran all over them in the first period.
They're the reigning national champs for a reason, looking to defend their title this season. 3-1 Western Michigan heading into the first intermission. We'll be back in 14 minutes here on Blaze Radio. Welcome back for the second period inside of Lawson Arena. Colgin, Hirschel, Lochlan, McTeague with you for Blaze on the Road. It's 3-1 Western Michigan. It was an outshot performance of 23-9 in that first period, which saw a lot of goals, a lot of scoring opportunities, and just a lot of possession from Western Michigan.
Yeah, just sheer domination on the front of Western Michigan, and they showed why they're the fourth-ranked team in the country, point blank. I mean, they held serve in that first period, had the best start that they could possibly have, and for ASU, again, they just look stunned. And they look like they let the crowd get the better of them, and that was just something that coming in you just didn't want to have happen. But unfortunately for them, it did, and you got to dig yourself out of a hole now. The question is, how do you do that? And it's just by establishing zone time and getting pucks on Hampton Slukinski.
Yeah, and he was stellar in that first period, making 8 of 9 saves, but that really doesn't tell the story. About 4 of those stops were 10 bellers, 2 of which coming against Bennett Shimmick in of itself, but he was really the rock in that first period for the Broncos, and he really showed why he is the reigning NCHC goaltender of the month.
Yeah, you made a couple of really nice saves on Bennett Shimmick, and you got to be kicking yourself if you're Shimmick, right? You got 2 golden chances to get the Sun Devils back in the game, and Slukinski just robs you point blank twice. But this is what he does when Western Michigan gives up chances, and they so rarely do on defense. Slukinski's there to bail them out. That's what he does.
The physicality in that first period was huge from Arizona State. We saw one of the Western Michigan players go into the bench of ASU. A couple of big hits from Tucker Ness and Noah Powell alike, but they're really going to need to continue that going forward to stop the speed of Western Michigan, as they really showed their prowess at that skill level in the first period.
Well, I think another really impressive thing was Western turned basic chances into really good offensive zone possessions, and that's a dangerous thing if you're Arizona State. You got to limit those possessions to 15, maybe 20 seconds max, and then you got to get out of your zone, find a way.
Morrell and Michaels at center ice to begin the second period. Michaels wins the faceoff in that first period. It was, once again, as if it couldn't be on brand before, it was all Western Michigan in the faceoff dot. It's Hendricks into the offensive zone. Shelberg with it around the boards. Bozer. Whitelaw was coming in for a big hit, but wasn't able to come in quick enough. In that first period, it was 20-7 in favor of Western Michigan. That was in the faceoff category. Puck is to the left of Connor Hasley with Shelberg. He faces a check from Captain Owen Michaels. It's lifted out toward center off the referee. The linesman, that is. Volk. Hold on to it. Give it across for Wahlberg. He'll step across the red line to Slukinski, and he'll get it in. Brayson Bozer with the puck behind his own end. Up the ice with Alfano. He fends off a check. Just pushes it a few feet forward. To the feet now with Bozer across the ice from McGurn. ASU's in the line change, so puck comes all the way back on the other side with Western Michigan. Left to right are the Broncos. Right to left are the Sun Devils in this second period. McGurn across the blue line. Stops up on the left. Looking down low. Couldn't find one. Pop comes in front to Shimmick. Goes across his stick. Court keeps it at the line for the moment. But here comes Western Michigan, an almost near breakaway for Grant Slukinski, but it was broken up by Richard Barron as Connor Hasley shows his best angles. Lucius across the blue line. Now the red. Cross for Bennett Shimmick. That's Alfano. Drops it for Lucius. It's lifted out towards center by Wisdom. As Kipke takes control in his defensive zone, will spin off one. Give it to Lincoln Keene on the left. He'll walk through center ice. Crandell will get it into the corner. Taken out in front. Smollen's there, and he scores again! The captain leading by example. It's 3-2 now, Western Michigan.
Does Kyle Smollen love Western Michigan or what? 4th goal for him in the 2 years in the series, after he's been pretty quiet on the score sheet the last few series, leading by example, got the C on his chest, veteran presence in the locker room. Captain Serious, some may call him.
That's his 6th goal of the season, 2nd of the game. He had 4 entering tonight, and that's his 4th goal against Western Michigan in 2 seasons. And he's gotten ASU single-handedly back into this game, a goal that was much needed. The first shot on goal of the second period finds its way past Hampton's Lukinski.
And I think part of the thing, too, for Arizona State here is they're slowing Western down. They've been forcing Western to dump the puck in a lot more and forecheck versus attacking off the rush, and that makes such a big difference for a team like Western.
Here's a weird thing to say. Tucker Ness is at the draw with Tyler McKenzie. Tucker Ness filling in for Braxton Whitehead, and Ness wins the faceoff. Keene for Nash as he tips it in. It's Lukinski behind his own net. Nash takes control. Ness trying to come help out. Goes over the head of Lincoln Keene, and here comes Tyler McKenzie, but Kipke's back for it first. Turned over, though, to Sam Huck across the ice, looking for Sidlowski. It's still there. Goes behind the net of Hasley. Puck cleared away by either Achille or Kipke. Here's Nash across the blue line. Sholin. Big hit by Ty Nash on Sam Sholin. That's a 5'10" Ty Nash on a 6'3", 200 Sam Sholin.
Somewhere out there, Dad Tyson Nash, former NHLer, has got a humongous grin on his face.
Morrell had a Fano across the ice. It's with Powell. Diving attempt by Morrell to keep the play alive. He goes sliding into the legs of Hendricks. Whitelaw. Here comes Shelberg pinching in. Gets it up to Michaels. Sticked by Alfano. Help from Shelberg. He gets it across the ice. No Sun Devil is there, however, as Whitelaw will give it up for Michaels. Chips it in into the corner. Near side. Shelberg faces a hit from Ty Hendricks. Powell trying to get it out. Can't. Bozer just sticks it across the blue line. 16:30 left in the second period. Kyle Smolin, once again, the most recent goal scorer. Most recent goal scorer times 2 as the Sun Devils trail by 1. It's McGurn out of his own zone. Alfano will get it across the blue line and in. Owen Michaels, the captain of this Western Michigan team. He had the OT winner in the semifinals last season of the NCAA tournament for this Western Michigan team, which saw them become the 2025 national champs. It's Valente in the corner. Shimmick takes control, however, for ASU. Hills dump it in. Lucius is there first, racing it on Zach Sharp. He gives him a little shove. Smolin now out there with Shimmick. Wonder if that's jumbled line or a purpose line change for Greg Powers. Barron will throw it on net, tipped out in front by Lucius. A shot from the corner from Keevan is soaked up by Slukinski, and he will hold on. We're just 4.5 minutes through this second period. It's 3-2 Western Michigan.
Arizona State, for all the flack that we've given them, they're right back in this hockey game, and they've really neutralized the speed of Western in this period. If there's any chances on goal, there's been a plethora of Sun Devils around, and they've cycled it around. They've worked the puck around, and they've gotten some opportunities on Hampton's Lukinski. And I really like that shot from Ben Keevan on the corner. Just try to catch Lukinski going into the VH on the post on the near side, or on the far side, I should say. But Lukinski able to gobble it up.
This line's been clicking. Smolin, Keevan, and Crandell, they're out there now. Smolin lost the draw, but it's a tie-up right out inside the blue line, but it comes out. Keene with it. He'll backhand it into the zone. Wahlberger's first to it for Western Michigan. Faces a check from Smolin. It's at the point. Keene will fire over the net of Slukinski. Kipke will throw a shot on net, tipped by Smolin out in front, but it's cleared to the corner. Keene will fire another shot, blocked in front. Good pressure here from the third line of Arizona State. Wahlberg, line change from the Sun Devils. Tucker Ness was coming off the bench and was on the train tracks of Theo Wahlberg, and he smartly got rid of the puck. Pass from Keen's off the back of the net, finds Kipke, and he'll clear. Goes right back into the crowd, heads up. That one was scary. That one had some velocity into the stands. Doesn't look like it hit anyone. Thankfully for that, that thing had a lot of power with 14:41 left in the second.
And in a building like this,
everyone's in play.
We're in play at this point, right?
That would be absolutely incredible if we got a puck up here. Hopefully not hitting any of the expensive gear that we brought with us to Kalamazoo from Tempe, Arizona. Face-off won once again by Western Michigan. They have been owning the dot here tonight. It's on the left side. McKenzie will fire a shot. falls to the stick of Slies. It's with Sharp now. He'll fire a pad on Slies there for the rebound, and it's stopped by Hasley for the moment. Sharp gets another chance at the side of the net, and now there's some extracurriculars from Nash and Sharp. Two-name synopsis from NHL players. Many to pick from both names, but this time it's Zach Sharp and Ty Nash mixing it up.
Another crazy sequence, but Connor Hasley stands his ground. I mean, rebounds galore, bodies galore in the crease. Loose puck fed to him by Ty Nash. Good defensive play, and the Sun Devils there really playing like a cohesive unit, helping out their goaltender and neutralizing that chance for Western.
This power line of Morrell, Alfano, and Powell come onto the ice. ASU is getting outshot 26-12 here in Kalamazoo. It's Michaels opposite of Morrell. He wins the draw, that being Michaels. Whitelaw in the right corner drops it for Michaels. He'll fire it off the side of the net. Morrell kicks it to the stick, but it goes right out in front of Hendricks. Hasley gets taken down. No call coming. Powell on the right side will flip it across. He was short of center when he did so, but Alfano's able to beat out icing. It's held up in the corner by Bookman. Michaels is there to help. Puck squirts out across the blue line and into the Sun Devils' defensive zone. Schellberg is back for it around his own net. Whitelaw puts some pressure on him. Schellberg just pushes it forward for Logan Morrell. He drops it for Schellberg, who drops it for Bozer. Carousel of passes for ASU. Spin around from Bozer. So fired off the boards and out. Not far enough, though, as Wisdom takes control. Faces a hit from Schellberg. Bozer. Wisdom in the corner. Grant Slukinski to the point for Volk. He fires it wide. Theo Wahlberg on the left side in the corner. Faces a hit from Schellberg. He stumbles, but gets the puck across for Volk. Kept in at the line by Liam Valente, who fires it. Deflected over the net there by Grant Slukinski in the slot. Off the stick of Schellberg, and Morrell is able to clear. Trickling down the other side of the ice. Referee waves off icing. 12:58 left in the second period. ASU still trails by 1. Barron is first back for the puck. Court follows it around. Lucic takes control out of the zone. He'll just lightly tap it in. Looking for a chase from McGurn. Couldn't get one as he was held up at the blue line. Turned over, though. Lucius looking to cut towards the middle. On his backhand to McGurn. To Shimmick at the side of the net. Did Slukinski make a stop? ASU thinks otherwise. Hampton Slukinski, if that puck stayed out, that might be one of the most incredible saves I've ever seen.
Boy, ice is getting shoveled right now, and Slukinski's getting a well-deserved rest, but that all started with Cruz Lucius, who poked a puck and almost turned it over at his own blue line. I said that was a cardinal sin earlier in the hockey game. Lucius got away with it there, and then he shoveled it to a wide-open McGurn in the slot, and McGurn elected to pass to Shimmick. And again, just when you think you can outsmart Hampton Slukinski, he just spawns his right pad and robs Bennett Shimmick. I mean, Bennett Shimmick could have a hat trick tonight if it weren't for the brilliance of Hampton Slukinski. This is unbelievable.
I'll try and describe what Slukinski looked like on that play there. He was on his stomach with his legs in the air, almost scorpion-like, and he seemingly grabbed the puck between his legs. An unorthodox play there by the netminder, but that's what makes him so good, is even when he's down and when he's out, he still lights out and can make unbelievable saves like that, and apparently against Bennett Shimmick, who he must have a vendetta against.
2 Minnesota natives, the Slukinski brothers from War Road. Notable hockey town. But goalies tend to have that sixth sense where they always either can maneuver the puck and swallow the puck back towards them, or they just know where it is even when it's behind them. And that's been what's so impressive about Slukinski, is they've tested him from tough angles, and pucks have kind of been trickling through, and he's held his ground every single time. It's been quite unbelievable to watch.
Except for Kyle Smolin, Hampton Slukinski has been a grade A goaltender here tonight.
Well, every superhero's got to have their kryptonite.
Tonight it's Smolin for Slukinski. Face-off won once again by Western Michigan. They'll clear it all the way down the other side of the ice for icing. Maybe 4 seconds off the clock. Still 3-2 at Western Michigan. And the resilience is what Greg Powers has kind of preached all season long for ASU, and they're really showing it here. They go down 3-0 quite early, too. And the leadership of Kyle Smolin to draw any sort of life back into this game. And it's a competitive hockey game with the number 4 team in the nation. Cruz Lucius off the draw. Into the corner for McGurn, will slap it around. Bookman takes control into the middle for Michaels. Barron's back for it. On his forehand, off the boards. Doesn't get past Whitelaw, into the middle. Shot fired from Hendricks, he's on a Hattie watch. Scholin keeps it in at the blue line. Michaels back to Hendricks, looking for the hat trick. Whitelaw, it's still there, Shimmick's able to clear. The Lunatics almost went into pandemonium. 12 minutes left in the second. Puck held up right at the red line. Now into the zone. Keen's back for it. Near side around the net. Drops it for Kipke. A hard drop pass for him as he'll just reset. Justin Kipke, the Minnesota Wild prospect, to Kyle Smolin, who's got both ASU's goals here tonight. Crandell's taken down by Volk. Keen across the ice for Kipke. Backhands it up the ice for Keevan. Looking for Crandell, who has some speed, but Wahlberg intercepts. Hakkarainen across the ice. Beatty with Volk. Has it fly off his stick. As Keen flips it high into the air. Keevan's under it. He chips it towards the middle, and a nice pass up for Crandell. Doesn't connect, but he gets control. Carmelo Crandall tried to center the pass, but it comes out of the zone as Bozer has to chase. 11 minutes left in this second period. 3-2 Western. It's with Crandell. Stops up. Fire around the net. Ty Nash. Tony Achille in the corner. Fourth line for ASU on the ice. Tucker Ness tying up a stick. He's taken down by Wahlberg. Achille was held up by that as well. Bozer with a nice defensive play just inside his defensive zone. Ty Nash with some speed out of the zone. Battling with Sharp once again. They went after it a couple minutes ago. Bozer has to retreat as Western Michigan comes out. Sadlowski to Huck. He faces a hit from Ness. Still battling in the corner. Huck steals the stick of Ness. Penalty upcoming to Western Michigan. Powell with a shot is blocked as Western Michigan will touch up, and Sam Huck will be going to the box for holding the stick of Tucker Ness, who he just grabbed it out of the hands of Ness in the near corner to our end of the ice. They'll call it interference.
This is all a byproduct of some gutsy shifts from Arizona State. Western Michigan got some offensive pressure. Arizona State weathered the storm, turned it up the other way, laid some big hits. The physical play seems to be getting to Western Michigan. Pat Frischweiler and his team have to make an adjustment with this soon because they can't keep up with the physicality of the Sun Devils, and it seems that they're almost scared to go into the corners with them, and they're such a skilled team, they can't be scared of that.
This is the first power play of the night for ASU. 25% is 9th best in the nation for the Sun Devils. It's Lucius across the ice for Morrell. He'll fire off the pad of Slukinski and into the net and out of play just 9 seconds off the power play. 84% is 12th in the nation for Western Michigan on the PK.
And that was a great stick net front by Bookman because Shimmick was looking cross crease for a Sun Devil stick. I believe that was McGurn in the crease, who was going to probably tap that one home, and that's a game-saving at this point play made by Zach Bookman.
It's Lucius at the point to Sam Court at the blue line. Right back to Lucius at the right wall. Into the middle for Shimmick. Corner now with Lucius. Shimmick, Lucius. First power play on the ice for ASU. It's behind the net with Alfano. Morrell in the corner looking for Shimmick in the middle. Couldn't connect, and it's skied down the ice and cleared by Western Michigan. 1:28 left on the PK to Sam Huck.
And I think one of the amazing things about the Sun Devil power play is they've had so many different looks, so many different people on this top unit, and yet they're still so consistent.
When they get that man opportunity, they usually take advantage. This time, however, it's not clicking just right. 1:06 left as it's a full line change for the Sun Devils. It's the second unit now on the ice, minus Sam Court. Crandell through center on the right side with Keevan. He's in the corner. Western Michigan takes control and flips it into the netting and out of play. 52 left on the penalty to Huck.
Yeah, and ASU really just hasn't gotten a chance to set up other than that first sequence there with Shimmick, but good movement from the first unit. And again, Western Michigan showing why they have a top 15 ranked penalty kill in the country, because when pucks get lodged loose off sticks, they swarm, and they swarm with 2 or 3 guys, and it's really difficult, especially if you're a half-wall guy or in the corner, to make plays when there's a couple bodies coming at you on the power play.
The first unit for Arizona State goes right back onto the ice after maybe about 20 seconds for the second unit. It's Morrell on the draw, opposite of Slukinski, being Grant Slukinski, the brother of Hampton. Morrell wins the draw. Court at the right point. Backhand pass to Lucius. Trying to pass it in the middle. It finds Court at the point. Lucius on the right. Looking across the ice. Tried to find Morrell. It was tipped off his stick. Court to Lucius right side. Court's calling for it. He gets it. One-timer from him. Just goes to the left to Slukinski. 27 on the penalty. Narrowly kept in at the line, but Western Michigan's able to clear. Hasley has to take control with 20 on the Huck penalty. Shimmick out of his own zone with lots of speed through center ice. He'll drop it for Alfano. One touches it right back to Shimmick. Morrell tried to get it to Lucius. They send it all the way down the other side of the ice, and that will do it for ASU's first power play of the night. Killed off by Western Michigan. 8:07 left in the second. It's turned over. Huck right out of the box on the left side. He fires just to the left of Hasley. Wisdom will just throw it around the net. Huck was going for a line change as Shelberg just flips it towards center ice and out of danger. Here's Keevan, however, pressuring Sholin quickly. It's thrown on net. Keevan's there for the rebound. Slukinski chips it around Smolin. It's Cowan's with it. Looking up the ice for Slukinski. He gets it to him. Valenti's cutting towards the net, but it's ruled offsides by the linesman Kyle Bushy with 7:32 left in the second.
Easily my favorite name on this officiating crew tonight.
The officiating crew for tonight, the two referees, Sterling Egan and Trevor Wolfard. The linesmen, Troy Merritt and Kyle Bushy.
I will say they've been very picky about the face-off dots tonight. They've thrown a number of centermen out of the draw. And ASU's been a recipient of that. That's why Western's controlled the face-off dot to this point.
They get another one from McKenzie off Ness. Dumped in by Volk. Hasley to Dowd in the corner. Up the ice across the blue line. Sidlowski takes control for Western Michigan. Will fire it in on the near side. Hasley, as it looks up ice. He's still patient with it. Still holding on to it out of his crease. McKenzie gave pressure, so Hasley just had to give it to Keene to get it away. Tucker Ness will dump it in. He goes with a full head of steam. Achilles around the other way, and they sandwich Volk behind the net of Sidlowski. Almost a Newton's Cradle type effect. McKenzie cuts towards the middle. Has one coming off the bench. That's Hendricks. He's got 2 points tonight, a goal and an assist. A shot from Bookman's off the leg of Alfano. That stung him. Dumped right back when it came from Colbeck. Dowd. Keene. Spins off Hendricks. Off the boards. Into the middle for Morrell. Off Alfano's stick. Couldn't connect. Whitelaw. Far side. Looking around Dowd on his backhand. Around the net. Whitelaw to Bookman. Hendricks at the circle. Finds Michaels in the middle. Saved by Hasley. And he bobbles it at first, but is able to cover up. 6:19 to go in the second. 3-2 Western as the Brooms come out.
And again, that's why this team is so good, Western Michigan. It's because Arizona State played perfectly. Man-on-man, 5-on-5 defense. They had everyone covered, and yet still just a sliver of space was there, and Owen Michaels has a shot almost uncovered from the slot. And Western's just a team that's able to create those kinds of chances, and they're so creative with their play. And I know Pat Freschweiler's a coach who encourages creativity, and I remember watching one of their practices last year, Colgin, at the Frozen Face-Off, and almost their entire practice was small area games, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and just creating chaos was the main point of emphasis there. And they would either be a back checker or some kind of forechecker in there to make it an odd man chance and encourage that puck movement and creativity, and you can see it translate on their play. And after practice, all of them played 3-on-3 for probably 20 minutes after their practice was done. And again, that quick puck movement from the forwards to the defense, that low to high movement, the cycle game down low, it all makes sense when you watch the way they practice and how creative they are with each other.
Yeah, and they're really utilizing it here tonight. I mean, they have been able to create something out of nothing almost every single time they're in the offensive zone. They've scored off of it a couple of times as well.
Yeah, we sound like a broken record. There's something out of nothing.
It's going to be a face-off to the left of Hasley. 6:19 to go in the second. The Lunatics are on their feet. I'm not being rude. That's their nickname. Morel and Slukinski. Face-off won once again by Western Michigan. It's Valenti off the draw. Court around the net for Powell. Looking for the drop pass to Barron. Stolen away by Sharp, who's in the corner from his defensive position. He'll retreat. Valente into the middle now. Slukinski fires, blocked by Barron. He didn't even know where it was, and ASU's able to clear. It's kind of felt like that a lot here tonight, where ASU just has to desperately clear the zone. It's been hard to clear the defensive side for ASU. It's in front now with Slukinski all alone. Goes to his backhand. A diving play by Morel, maybe from Hasley on the poke check. Valenti fires into the glove of Hasley. He holds on. What a play by Connor Hasley with the poke.
Grant Slukinski absolutely loves to go to the backhand. That's his main move. And you could see he was holding, waiting on that forehand. Hasley was way out of his crease, and he knew he was out of position, and he was lucky. He had support in Logan Morel coming back, but he got his blocker stick hand out. That's his left hand. He's a righty catching glove goaltender, and he got that stick out there and kept this a one-goal game.
McGurn and Hawker Ryan into Hasley's left. Slukinski almost had to go to his backhand with Morel's pressure coming from his backside. But it was Hasley who was quicker with the stick that keeps us at a one-goal hockey game. Lucius in the offensive zone, looking behind the net, now in the left corner. To the point now with Bozer. Will chip it behind the net. Finds McGurn. Sean McGurn drops it for Bozer once again. He goes into the corner. It's Shimmick behind the net. Lucius going to the front. Shimmick couldn't make the pass. Shellberg tried to fake pass at the blue line. Kept in by Bozer, but Western Michigan takes control. Beatty. One's offside for Western Michigan. They don't blow it dead. Here comes Lucius back the other way. 2-on-2 now with Shimmick. He loses possession for the moment on his backhand around the net. Stops up in front for McGurn. He whiffs. Bozer shoots off the right pad of Slukinski from our angle. Takarainen through center. He'll lightly chip that one in. Almost another near goal for ASU.
And good job by Bozer. He changed the angle there on that shot, but again, Slukinski gets just enough of that puck to keep it out.
It's a great save by Slukinski. Once again, feeling like a broken record with that. Crandell chips it in. Smolin behind the net. He's on two. Ty Hendricks sweeps it away. Good back pressure from Keevan. Whitelaw behind the net. Looking in front to Hendricks. Couldn't connect. Smolin comes out. 3-on-2 now for ASU if they hurry. Keevan across the right side will just lightly chip it in. Volk sends it around the net. Finds Kipke. Now with Crandell. Far corner. At the point with Keene. He keeps it in at the line. To the dismay of the Lawson Lunatics. It's kept in at the moment at the line. A hand was thrown in there. Now it's at center ice. Wahlberg. As Volk will just retreat to his defensive zone behind his net. 3:37 left in the second period. It's 3-2 Western Michigan. The Sun Devils have had their opportunities. It's off the skate of Powell. Alfano just outside the blue line. He has to hold up. Here comes Sam Huck with lots of space. He's tripped up at center ice. No call. Sadlowski will rim it around and dump it in. Morel off the skate of McKenzie. Huck with it. Morel chips it right back off of Huck. Here comes Powell with a press. Callback. Winds and fires just over the net of Hasley. Rebounds there. Shot from McKenzie from the corner is stopped by Hasley. It's rimmed around off the stanchion. Sadlowski behind the net. In front from McKenzie. He fires over the net of Hasley once again. Sharp rims it around. McKenzie behind the net. Kolbeck will drop it for Sidlowski. Looking for the 1-2 from Valenti. It's tipped on and they score! Alex Kolbeck, welcome to National Collegiate Athletic Association. Your first goal in the NCAA makes it 4-2 Western.
They say sometimes pucks have eyes. That was absolutely what happened there. Just turning and firing it to the net was Kolbeck. Hasley, you could see, was just stunned on the play. And Colgin, we were waiting for a shift like that to happen with Western Michigan. It was building and building and building. ASU looked like they had they were chickens with their head cut off in the defensive zone, and Western made them pay off one of the lower grade chances they got out of that sequence in general.
There's a deflection in front from Alex Kolbeck. Makes it 4-2. Turned over. Here's Valente in front. He fires. What a glove save by Connor Hasley. Oh my goodness, Connor Hasley has kept ASU into the game multiple times. That might be his best one of the night.
If Arizona State is able to claw their way back and make this a tie game somehow, remember that save.
Maybe one of his best as a Sun Devil. Connor Hasley flashed the leather right off the draw. Hendricks fans on it. As Cruz Lucius clears. 2:17 left in the second period. ASU seemingly is just trying to get to the second intermission. The Lunatics are on their feet. Lucius stumbles just inside the red line and will fire it behind Slukinski. Hendricks. Court tries to keep it in. It's not far enough. Here's a 2-on-1 with Whitelaw and Michaels. Michaels gets it. He fires. Blocker saved by Hasley. Another one from Connor Hasley. It's Lucius now. 1:49 left. He tries to get it towards the middle for Shimmick. He'll fire. Blocked in front. Lucius is there on the rebound, poking away at it, but Slukinski is able to soak it up.
Holy smokes, Connor Hasley made another one. Absolutely incredible, this time with the blocker. I mean, we talked about Hampton Slukinski getting a couple stakes. I think Connor Hasley deserves 3 or 4 in this period alone. Excellent saucer pass from Hendricks to Michaels on the 2-on-1, and ASU goes the other way. Boy, a goal in the last 90 to 100 seconds here would be huge for the Sun Devils.
So his final 2 minutes that Greg Powers preaches a lot. Connor Hasley has made 29 of 33 saves, and we're not even to the second intermission. Keevan off the draw, fires off the leg of Wahlberg, goes to the corner. Keevan's there once again, still battling for it. It's Valente who will chip it off the boards. Bozer, back where it came from. 90 seconds to play here in the second period, still a 2-goal lead for Western. It's with Wahlberg through center ice, dangles around Smolin. Turned over though, here's Shelberg. He's got Keevan, 2-on-1 if they hurry. Keevan on the right side. He'll fire to Shelberg in the middle. Stopped by Slukinski with the pad. Right to his brother Grant. Trying to get through Crandell. Valente in the corner. Bozer sticks up to him. Keevan faces a hit from Beatty. Bozer tried to flip it off the boards. Morrell takes possession. The final minute of play here in the second period. Bozer. It's chased after by Cowan. Shelberg goes in the corner to help out. Thrown in front to the stick of Morrell. Lightly chips it off the boards. He faces a huge hit there from Hakkarainen. Powell flips it into the zone. 34 on the clock. Alfano looked in front for Morrell. Here's Dowd. Slap shot into the chest of Slukinski, and he holds the glove to his chest and holds on. 26 left here in period number 2.
I'm not sure how that puck popped to Dowd in the high slot there, but he's a name we haven't called a lot tonight. He was in the starting lineup initially with Richard Barron, and Lincoln Keene has been the 7th defenseman, but Keene's gotten the latter share of minutes compared to Dowd, but had a golden opportunity to earn himself a couple more minutes in the third period, but again, Slukinski comes up big.
ASU has fanned on a lot of those shots right in the slot that have just squirted to them. I think there was about 2 or 3 of them in the St. Cloud game, night 2 on Saturday, and we've seen at least 3 here tonight. It's Morrell on the draw with Michaels to the right of Slukinski. 26 on the clock. Michaels wins the draw. Scholand off the stick of Lucius goes right back into the corner. It's flipped off the boards and out. Cleared all the way down the other side of the ice, and it will go far enough for icing. 12.0 left in the second.
It's one of the rare times our clock on our stream loop and the clock on the scoreboard will match in the last minute of play here.
Gotta love when that happens.
But this is a big face-off, and Lucius is out there with Morrell. That's not their usual centerman. Morrell's their best guy on the dot by far. I think he went 65% against St. Cloud State last weekend. He's overall got a 58% win percentage in the dot, so looking to win one here and get a quick shot on goal.
He's against Michaels. He tried for the shot right off the draw. Doesn't connect. 8 seconds on the clock. Bozer at center. Slaps it towards the boards. Lucius with 4. He's back for it. They'll just hold it against the boards, that being Bookman. That will expire the time in 40 minutes through here from Lawson Arena. 4-2 now, Western Michigan. Just 1 goal in that second period. And Lochlan, I mean, Arizona State seemed to have gotten this game right back into control with the Kyle Smolin goal. But it wasn't enough as Western Michigan just kept pressuring, and Callback's first goal in his collegiate career extended it to 2.
And unfortunately, that was a really, really good period for the Sun Devils. They controlled the latter portion of the play. They slowed down Western Michigan significantly in the neutral zone. Western Michigan had to create a lot of their chances by hard work in the O zone and good efforts there, and just overall really skillful plays in the offensive zone. But unfortunately, this is a byproduct of digging yourself too big of a hole early, and now you're asking a ton of your team in the third period that historically has been on the other side of this, up 2 to 3 goals on home ice instead of down 2 to 3 on the road. So kind of unfamiliar territory for Arizona State, but they've shown good resilience, getting themselves back and competitive. And I think the biggest thing in that second period was they showed that they can skate with them, they showed that they can play with them, and that they can control possession against a good team like this in their barn. And I think that's important mentally for Arizona State. And if you take nothing, if the game ends right now, if you take nothing from this game, it's that alone going into Saturday.
18-1 are the Broncos when leading after 2. Arizona State is 2-10-1 when trailing. We'll see which one of those statistics improves for either team when we are back on Blaze Radio. 4-2, Western Michigan heading into the second period. We'll be back in 14 minutes. Welcome back for the third period here from Lawson Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Colgin, Hirschel, and Lochlan McTeague for you for Blaze on the road. It's a Western Michigan 4-2 lead heading to the third period. And it's really been the play of the goaltenders that have stood out so far. The stats will not show you how well these two goalies have performed here tonight. And they've both been equally as good. Obviously, Hasley with a lot more quantity, but both have been quality in their own.
Yeah, and Hasley, 879 save percentage, 4 goals, 29 saves, 2 goals, 16 saves, 889 for Slukinski. So not the prettiest of numbers if you're a goaltender. But that doesn't, again, do it justice to the quality of saves that these guys are making. I mean, Hasley's made a 2-on-1 robbery save with his blocker in that second period, a breakaway by Owen Michaels. He went to the forehand. He poke-checked Grant Slukinski, who went to his backhand. That was a wide-open chance. And not to mention, William Whitelaw had a one-timer from the left circle in the first period that he went post-to-post and robbed him with the glove. And we thought that was his best save of the night, and then he outdid himself in the second period. And on the other side for Slukinski, I mean, continues to have Bennett Shimmick's number, continues to have pretty much everyone's number, except if your name is Kyle Smolin, apparently, for Arizona State. And both goaltenders have really been keeping them in it, and if ASU could just generate more quality chances, they might have a shot. But we were talking, and we didn't know if we thought potentially maybe if you're Western, 4 is enough to win with Slukinski between the pipes.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Obviously, you mentioned the stellar performance against Bennett Shimmick. Maybe they need Kyle Smolin to shoot the puck a little bit more. But we'll start with the visitors in Arizona State. You're down 4-2. Third periods have not been your strong point all season. You have a -19 goal differential overall, -16 in conference play in this final frame. If you're Greg Powers, what are you preaching to your team for these final 20 minutes?
I just think it's that you've proven that you can take it to them, and you've proven that the physicality can wear them down. So this is the time where they start to get worn down, is the third period. And like, how much juice is left in the tank for ASU? I mean, their season's going to be on the line pretty much every game you play. They're clinging to that 8th and final playoff spot in the NCHC, but for ASU, it's how can you continue to stop them in the neutral zone, and for, I mean, Greg Powers' message is it's just plain and simple. We've done it before. Why can't we do it again for another period? Put together another period, get one, let's see where we are.
And then to play devil's advocate for Western Michigan, you have this 2-goal lead heading to the third period. You've completely outplayed Arizona State for a large majority of this hockey game. What is Pat Ferschweiler saying on the bench for the Broncos?
You can't take your foot off the gas. I think it's keep going. Score as much as you want, because this is a high-powered offense. This team is comfortable off the rush. They're comfortable in the offensive zone, and you got a great goaltender behind you. If you start to play a little bit tense and like you're defending the lead, that's not your game. Your game is to continue attacking and continuing to push the pace of the play. So continue to do that for 20 more minutes, and if they do half of what they did in the first or even second period offensively, they're going to be just fine in this final 20.
Just as the first and second periods began, it'll be Morrell and Michaels at center ice. Michaels so far here tonight is 13 of 18 on the draw. Logan Morrell, 7 of 17. Western Michigan has as many face-off wins as they do shots. That is 33. See if they can add to that, and they do. Michaels wins the draw as we begin period number 3 here on Blaze Radio. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Scholin will get things kicked off as he'll send it down the other end of the ice for icing. 12 seconds gone on the clock, and it'll be a face-off to Slukinski's left as Morrell signals.
That's always an interesting rule that I've seen where the centerman gets to choose where they go, and Morrell's really good on his backhand as well in the face-off dot, trying to set up a one-timer for Powell here in this right circle. And again, these are the opportunities ASU needs. Linesmen were finicky in the first period, but Michaels, Morrell, this is a primetime matchup in the dot.
Once again, but Michaels again gets the better of Morrell. It's chipped out towards center. Powell's under it. Spins off a check, fires to Alfano in the middle. Morrell blew a tire, but Alfano was able to dodge him. Bookman with Scholin now. Big hit from Morrell once again, takes Scholin to the ice. There's really been no answer from Western Michigan on the physicality front. It's been all ASU from that standard. As the whistle blows, it'll be a holding penalty. There's been no signal as to who it is yet. Pointed towards Bookman of Western Michigan. and I believe he will go to the box for a hold.
I mean, a humongous chance here, as that's just an unforced error by Zach Bookman, who so far in his career has been nominated for the Hobie Baker Award twice. When he was at Merrimack, and he's a staple defenseman that just gives Arizona State another crack on the power play.
Court fans on the pass to Lucius down low. Arizona State pressing to keep possession on their second power play of the evening. They failed to score on their first attempt. Morrell sends it around for Court. Keeping it at the line. It's with Morrell on the far side. Spins off one. Same side with Court across the ice for Lucius. He'll fire. Deflected past Slukinski off the stick of Alfano. No pressure at the point from Lucius, as Wisdom has the easiest clear of his life. Minute 25 left on the power play for ASU. Pucks with Shimmick on the far side. Stick check from Michaels. Sends it across the blue line, so ASU is going to have to reset. Lucius will start things for the Sun Devils. Alfano on the right. Chip it in. Michaels in the corner. Sends it around. Sholin with it. Send it off the glass. Kept in at the line for a moment by Court. Almost picked off in the middle by Michaels. He's got Whitelaw pressing, but Western Michigan is just going to take as much time off this clock. There's 47 seconds left on the power play.
These are the troubles sometimes with power plays when there's fresh ice and you kind of haven't settled it into the period yet. Your puck movement's not very crisp, and that's kind of what we're seeing here from ASU.
Bozer will dump it on the far. Slukinski behind the net. Slapped around. Lucius keeps it in. It's with Keevan. Chips it off the boards to Lucius. To the point now with Shelberg. Far side Bozer with Keevan. Looking for a pass. Finds Lucius near side. He'll fire. Off the player in front. It fell to Slukinski, but it was cleared by Western. 9 seconds left on the Bookman hold. Shelberg. Head fakes out of the zone. Drops it for Bozer. As Western Michigan has killed off the penalty. Keevan with it. Will fire off the pad. Comes to the side for McGurn. He fires it through the crease. Bozer. Fanned on the pass once again. As Michigan will clear the Western variety. 17:01 to go in the third period in regulation. It's still that 2-goal lead for the Broncos. They just killed off the second penalty of the night. Bozer has it in his own zone. Arizona State's having trouble getting it up ice. Keene just has to softly chip it towards center, and Valente will send it right back in.
Yeah, just a trap forecheck there. Couldn't get the controlled breakout moving, and that's just troublesome for the Sun Devils.
Puck went off the skate of Callback, who was changing. Almost too many men there for the Broncos. It's Lukinski down the left side. He fires. Hasley doesn't know where it is and went off his shoulder and out of the zone. Sholin near side will dump it in. It's Wisdom far. In the middle is McGurn, who picks off the pass. Alfano looking for Powell racing up the ice. He'll dump it in and let Powell chase. In the far corner, now goes behind the net with McGurn. Sholin, McGurn steals it off of him. He'll send it to the point now. Barron, near side with Dowd, into the middle for Powell. He'll fire. And it's soaked up by Slukinski. 15:57 left in regulation. Still a 2-goal lead for Western Michigan.
And that's a great look in the offensive zone. You get your forward trailing back up high to the blue line for a one-timer, and Sean McGurn almost had that timed up. Powell sent that to the net. McGurn was trying to go across crease and get a stick on that. He couldn't, and Slukinski was there to gobble it up in the breadbasket.
Sean McGurn had a goal in Game 2 versus St. Cloud. That was his first point in 9 games. First goal in 14. Dowd from the point off the stick of Wahlberg to the corner. Lucius behind the net, fires it in front, looking for McGurn. He gets the rebound. Slukinski covers up. McGurn gives a couple of extra whacks after the whistle.
That's another one of those weird ones there where you got Slukinski kind of losing sight of the puck in the crease. That's happened 2 or 3 times so far tonight, and I mean, he's lucky that he's a good enough goaltender where it hasn't come back to bite him.
He always seems to find a way to get his body in front of pucks. He's done so 19 times out of the 21 times tested here tonight. McGurn wins the faceoff to Barron, who barely keeps it at the line. He'll fire off a leg in front. Dowd racing in. Near side popped high into the air. Shimmick tries to bat it down. Falls to the stick of Hendricks. Far side with Whitelaw trying to work around Barron. He does so successfully, but not past Dowd. It's Michaels. Looking into the middle, a shot fired wide by Whitelaw on the one-timer. Near side going to the point. Stick in there by Shimmick. One's crashing far side. That's Lucius. It goes off his stick. Can he get there first? No. Zach Sharp is quicker to it. He's looking to catch ASU in a line change. The pass doesn't come up to Whitelaw quick enough, so he just has to dump it in. ASU on the near side with Keevan. He's had a pretty good game tonight here for Arizona State. Crandell behind the net. Up to the point with Shelberg. He's got it on the near side. Tried to hack it into the zone. McKenzie was there. Out towards center. Crandell spins off Huck. He'll come across the blue line. Dangles towards the middle. Now to the far side. Still with it is Crandell with a couple of nice moves. Stops up into the middle. Keevan went to his backhand, didn't shoot. Keevan to Shelberg. Looking to shoot. He does. It's still there. Rebound still loose. Keevan takes control. Shelberg near side. Cross for Bozer. He'll put it towards the net. Goes wide. Huck goes face first into the board. Smolin fire a point shot. It went wide. Keevan deflects it around, and Arizona State was going for a line change, so they had no pressure there as Western Michigan gets the clear.
Yeah, great shift, but those guys are just dead tired. You can see it. They're barely clawing their way back to the bench.
Grant Slukinski in the far corner with just under 14 left in regulation time. It's taken out by Cowan. Achilles steals off the skate of Beatty, so Ness has to retreat. He'll go far side. Goes right back across. It's with Ness. Down the right side. Lightly chip it into the glove of Slukinski. Breaking out the putter. As Slukinski covers it up. A 4-2 lead with 13:33 left in this third period.
Yeah, a bit of gamesmanship going on in front there. Alfano, bit of a snow shower on Slukinski, and then Tucker Ness, the old park your body right in front of the crease. I know I did that several times until you get asked to move by the referee. He's trying to mess with the mind a little bit of Slukinski.
Anything will go for Arizona State, really. They need something to claw their way back. Still down 2 as the clock is ticking on them. Keene at center ice, gloves it down. Morrell chipped it off the body of Wahlberg and in. Volk behind the net. Faces a hit from Alfano. Near side with Wahlberg. Up the ice for Cowan. He'll retreat closer to his own zone. Shakes off a check from Alfano to the appeal of the crowd. Bobby Cowan still with it. Couldn't get it past Justin Kipke, however, who has it behind his own net. Comes to the near side, half wall. As Powell steals. Tried to fire a pass across to Alfano. Couldn't connect. As the 15s go across. Callback and Powell. Powell comes away with it. Looking to shoot. Still with it. Has McGurn coming off the bench. Sam Court was crashing towards the net from the blue line. To Barron. Powell Beavertails. It's picked off, though, by Wisdom. Goes to the far side. Will dump it in. For Western Michigan, it's pretty much across the red line and in through the remainder of this regulation time frame. Lucius. Shimmick near side. Down the boards. Looking to cut towards the net. He'll fire a pass in front looking for Lucius. It goes off the pad of Slukinski. Valente takes the hit from Court. Physicality has really picked up for Arizona State in this hockey game. Haven't really seen this much physicality all season from Greg Powers' team. Smolin comes in for some help. Lucius takes control on the far side. Turns it right over to Bookman, who will flip it high towards center. Goes into the ASU zone. Nice chip attempt from Western Michigan. That was Whitelaw, and then some help from Michaels, but it goes over the net of Hasley. Once again, another broken play that Western Michigan looked to take advantage of. Wahlberg takes Smolin down to the ice. The arm is up in the air as Western Michigan will send ASU right back to the power play.
And another just inexcusable error there from Wahlberg. Smolin dumps the puck in. You have no reason to use your stick with any kind of force. Wahlberg just axes him down. There's no rhyme or reason for that. You're going to win the puck race, and even if you don't, you're going to get body position against the boards, and you're going to have guys there to help out. Why try and be extra aggressive and cross-check a guy down and give this power play another chance?
Yeah, and Greg Powers has the whiteboard out. Now gives it to assistant coach Hicks, who didn't make the trip up the first time around for the Sun Devils back in 2017. Powers was talking about that in his Tuesday presser, but it's all of the coaching staff having this first unit huddled up, really making sure they get some final pieces of encouragement before they head out for their third power play attempt, which they have failed to score on the first 2 times.
The stats would say in the next 1 to 2 chances, the Sun Devils should score based on their roughly 25% clip. But if there's an opportunity that they need to click on, it's going to be the next one. And we're going to keep saying that the next opportunity that comes, this is the moment to strike. The iron's hot for Arizona State, and I think for Western Michigan here, they've been such a good penalty killing unit tonight, especially. They've disrupted the flow of things in the neutral zone for Arizona State, that they just need to continue to do that. And it starts with faceoffs. I mean, when you get possession on the penalty kill to start, I mean, that you get it down, that kills, 15 to 30 seconds right off the rip.
It's a huge duo that we've seen, Morrell and Michaels on the draw. Morrell tried to push it forward but couldn't. Michaels gets the better of it, and Wisdom will clear.
And just right there, win a face-off, clear, and you're going to waste 15 to 20 seconds just getting in back to the zone.
Shimmick out of his own zone. Drops it for Lucius, who will get this power play started. Morrell through center. He cuts towards the middle. Shimmick keeps it at the line. Wisdom was taken down. Shimmick with Lucius now near side. Right at the half wall. Shimmick at the point. Back to Lucius. They'll look for a shot off the stick of Sharp. Shimmick, a one-timer from the point. It's deflected in on goal, and Slukinski somehow finds it in all of that traffic and is able to cover with 81 seconds left on the power play for Arizona State.
Great wherewithal there from Cruz Lucius. He had his shot blocked in front. And then he had the wherewithal to get it and then feed Bennett Shimmick at the point. And a smart shot there, gobbled up by Slukinski. But ASU going back to this 5-forward unit. No Sam Cord on this top unit out there. Kyle Smolin comes in as well. And Bennett Shimmick quarterbacking just like old times.
Logan Morrell and Michaels. It's a broken record once again. Might need to check that cassette tape. A lot of broken records here tonight. There's a conversation over at the Arizona State bench. Both centermen will circle. Michaels and Morrell. They've gone to battle so many times here tonight. Who will win this bout? It's Morrell this time. Shimmick for Lucius near side. He'll shoot into the chest of Slukinski. He was loose for a second, but the referee's whistle blew as he lost sight of the puck.
And again, that is what separates good goaltenders from great goaltenders. It's being Velcro, having those pucks stick to you. Because you can make the save, that's one thing, but how do you control that rebound in your own crease? And great job by Slukinski to gobble it up.
Again, Morrell and Michaels. As I believe Morrell is going to be tossed from this one. He'll send Kyle Smolin to the dot. 3 for 11 for tonight for the Arizona State co-captain. 16 from 23 goes to 17 through 24 for Owen Michaels as Western Michigan gets the clear. Shimmick behind his own net. A minute remains on the third power play for Arizona State as they have to reset once again. That first power play unit is still out there, but they keep failing their drop pass attempt. Shimmick will finally complete one to Lucius. Go across the blue line. Stop up. Pressure from Western Michigan. Here's Alfano across to Smolin. Near side Lucius. Curls back to the quarterback, Shimmick. Shoots it on net, over the net of Slukinski. Michaels couldn't clear. 33 to go on the power play. It's Whitelaw who takes control, and here comes Michaels with lots of space on the left side. He'll look to shoot, and a nice stick by Bennett Shimmick to get rid of any danger. Hakkarainen couldn't keep control. 18 seconds to go as the puck gets cleared into the far corner of Arizona State. Pressure from Hakkarainen in on Hasley. Sun Devils saw that last week against St. Cloud, where it was Sam Urban who, on the penalty kill, played the puck, turned it over and the Huskies were able to win the game with that goal. It's a successful penalty kill once again for Western Michigan. Feels like another opportunity gone by the wayside for the power play. Slukinski around for Wisdom. Far side, it goes off a skate. It's Volk. Will retreat behind his own net with 9:17 to go in regulation. Volk through center. Across the ice for Wisdom. Stays on side. He'll just backhander it, looking to get the dump in, but it's too high and out of play.
I've been so impressed with this Western penalty kill, and again, that was the line coming into the series, right? 15 of 16, and they've held opponents as well to 2 or less shot attempts, and I can see why, because Cruz Lucius stops the blue line on this near side, sets up Alfano for a 3-on-2. Puck gets worked around. Any other unit would be so out of position with that puck movement, but somehow Western Michigan just snap of the finger, boom, they're right back into prime position to defend.
They've done a great job here tonight. Killed off all 3 penalties that they have taken. Sun Devils have yet to score on the man advantage. Achille steals inside his own blue line. Nash right back to Achille, will dump it in. Good movement there from the 4th line of ASU. Slukinski with Achille near side. Nash in the corner around for Shelberg. Trying to give it right back to Nash. He'll just hack it behind the net for Tucker Ness, and he breaks his own stick. Trying to go for a stick check on Bookman, so he'll have to go get some new lumber, and he'll just change. Here comes Tony Achille, though, with lots of space. Drops it for Smolin on Hattie, watch, and he just couldn't pull it to his forehand. Great poke check there by Slukinski. Keevan with it, looking across for Court, pressing down from the blue line. It's picked up by Valente as Western Michigan will go back and dump it in. Another close opportunity for Arizona State. Once again, Kyle Smolin. It's Crandell through the blue line. Stops up, look for Barron. He finds him. Has a hard time corralling it. He just throws it on net. Slukinski didn't know where it was. So at the far side with Huck. Trying to keep it at the line is Court. It's poked towards center. Here comes Sidlowski for Western Michigan. It's fired into the glove of Connor Hasley, and he will hold on to that one. With 7:48 left in regulation, the clock is ticking on the Sun Devils.
You can tell that Tony Achille rush chance. Smolin was so well defended, but somehow he got it free, and Hampton Slukinski did his best. Connor Hasley there, as Smolin, the righty, went to the backhand. Slukinski with a nifty little poke check. He would have been way out of his net, as Smolin would have had the hat-trick goal on a wide-open net.
He's got 2 tonight. Those are the only 2 goals on the board for Arizona State. 4 for Western Michigan is where we see ourselves. I mean, the record might as well be shattered. It's Morell and Michaels once again on the draw to the left of Hasley. It's been a spirited bout all night, and Morell gets the better of Michaels this time. It's Alfano at the line. Sharp at the red will dump it in. Near side corner with Shelberg. Send it around. Bozer to Alfano. Chip it around. Trying to get it past Sharp. As Western Michigan will just slap it back the other way, back to that near side corner in Arizona State's defensive zone. Alfano to Powell in the middle. Sun Devils with a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Said that a lot here tonight. Powell spins around, trying to backhand pass, and Valente steals. Shelberg does the same, though. Morell behind Slukinski's net. Chip towards the blue line. Here comes William Whitelaw. Slukinski right off the bench. He'll fire from Whitelaw, and it just goes wide. McGurn to center. Bookman takes control. Scholand across the blue line. Near side. He'll spin it around. Slukinski sees it go by him. Valente far side corner. 2-on-2 behind the net. Beatty comes out. Wisdom couldn't find a pass across off the stick of Lucius. It's still in front, but cleared away by McGurn. Turned over, however. Zachariah Wisdom will shoot it on net. Blocked in front. Hasley pokes it to the corner. 6:15 to go here in the third period. Slukinski will fire into the glove of Connor Hasley, and he flashes the leather to make the stop.
it seems so machine-like for Western Michigan. They just, when they seem down and out or they seem like they're being taken advantage of out there, they just kick it into another gear, and there's always one more gear for this team. It's really, really cool to watch because they never run out of gas, it seems. Whenever they've gotten worked in the defensive zone, the next shift they turn around and then they spend 45 seconds to a minute in their offensive zone. It's unbelievable, and that's what makes this team so good and so hard to play against, especially when you're down 2 goals.
Yeah, it's the depth of this Western Michigan roster that has really prevailed so far. I mean, as my partner mentioned, it's just every single time they have an opportunity against them, they come back the other way with equal, if not more, force. And they've had the answer for Arizona State pretty much the entire night. And at this point, it would almost take a near miracle for Greg Powers' team to get right back into this game. But one goal will do that. And I believe there's going to be another goal in this hockey game. And the next one is definitely the biggest so far.
Wow, you're doing your best color commentator impression there with that one. But you're absolutely right. And if Western Michigan is to somehow find themselves in a tied scenario at the end of regulation, it's because they themselves have lost this game, not because ASU has gone out and won it. There's going to be no effort from here forward that will outmatch Western Michigan unless Western Michigan starts beating themselves. That's how good of a team this unit is.
Just getting my color reps in for tomorrow when you'll be on the call with me to your left. It'll be game 2 of this series from Lawson Arena, but we still have 6:12 left in this one. A 2-goal lead for Western Michigan. The student section here at Lawson Arena is looking a little bit emptier than it began with. Fans are confident in their team. It'll be Hakkarainen and Smolin to the left of Hasley. Smolin wins it back. Barron will race towards the near corner with Cowan. Court behind the net. It's taken down legally. Bobby Cowan faces 3 Sun Devils, and it's Arizona State who comes away with it. Carmelo Crandall trying to chip it past Bade, but couldn't. Beatty got the better of him. Court just trying to settle down a pass from Hasley. It's a near side with Carmelo Crandall once again. Hit the skate of Morrell. A missed pass opportunity will send Western Michigan back the other way. It's Connor Hasley. Barron. Send it towards the middle for Powell. It's Slukinski who takes control. Across the blue line. Will drop it for his teammate. Slukinski behind the net. Goes to the far corner. Will spin around Barron. Still holding on to it. Looking for Wisdom. Couldn't connect. It's Callbeck who scored his first goal in the NCAA in the second period. Shelberg across the blue line. Miniature 2-on-1. Alfano will shoot. And Slukinski seemingly easily saves that one as he's sliding from his left to the right. And now a bunch of pushes and shoves. Valente and Powell end up on the ground. 4:59 left in the third.
And then Callbeck, the new guy to this team, came in for the spring semester from the Chicago Steel, just sends Noah Powell packing towards the ice. Have yourself a night.
Callbeck, 6'1", 185 freshman out of St. Charles, Illinois. As mentioned before, his first goal in the NCAA. He was top 25 in points with 13 in the USHL for defensemen before he made the switch over to Kalamazoo. McGurn against Michaels this time, and Michaels gets the better of him, but McGurn gets the turnover. Throws it behind the net. Bookman. Shimmick battling with him. Lucius to McGurn out of the corner. He'll fire. Lucius grabs the rebound. Behind the back pass looking for Shimmick. Couldn't connect. Sholin takes control. Here comes Western Michigan, a 2-on-1 brewing. It's Hendricks. He's got Michaels to his left. Hendricks will shoot off the blocker of Hasley and behind the net. Bozer, far corner, will send it out. 4.5 to go here in the third period. It's Bozer, far corner once again. Cross the ice for Lucius. Cuts across the red line and will dump it in. We'll go for a line change. Bookman faces adversity from Kevin. Hakkarainen, across the ice for Cowan on the far side. Keene. To Cowan, back to the point. Volk fakes the shot, sends it back down into the corner. Hakkarainen's taken down. Volk with the shot off the blocker of Hasley. Goes to the far corner. Hakkarainen battling with Smolin with under 4 to go. 2-on-2 to the left of Hasley. They're still battling for it. Comes out. Here's Volk. Looking to shoot. Will send it around. Cowan, far side. 2 Sun Devils on him. Both the defensemen, Keene and Dowd. Still in the corner. As Western Michigan will hold it up once again. They're just killing as much time as they possibly can. It squirts towards the middle. Here's a shot from Wahlberg. Is blocked by Kevin, and he falls to the ice. He's shaken up after that one. Slukinski across for Volk. Valente in the corner. Send it back for Wisdom. Poked forward by Dowd. This line's been out there for a while for Arizona State. 3 minutes left in the third period. Slukinski spins around and fires. Wisdom tried to deflect it in, couldn't. Wahlberg across for Volk will fire just to the right of Hasley. Sun Devil unit is absolutely gassed. Puck finds Wisdom in front. He fires it over the right shoulder of Hasley. Wahlberg at the left point. Valente spins around. Smolin marking him. Keene falls to the ice after the hit. Smolin tries to lift it past Wisdom. Can't. Western Michigan has been in the zone for a while. Here's Slukinski. He fires it to the left of Hasley this time. A lot of missed shot opportunities for Western Michigan, but it's the clock they've been killing. So Arizona State is forced to just lift it towards center. 2 change for the Sun Devils. Lucius and Shimmick pop out onto the ice. It's Dowd in the corner. Smolin signaling to the bench as the remainder of the line heads to the ASU bench. Hasley comes out of the net. 6-on-5 for the Sun Devils as they work towards the offensive zone. It's Morrell who trips around Scholand. Shimmick looking in front to Alfano, couldn't connect. Here comes Owen Michaels, a 2-on-1. Courts the last man back, a backhander on net. Finds Twine. Owen Michaels, icing on the cake for Western Michigan. It's another game with an empty netter for the Sun Devils, and it's now 5-2 in favor of Western Michigan.
And Michaels gets rewarded for a very, very good defensive play in front of the net. Alfano was wide open. Michaels was the guy who stuck it away, and he goes to the backhand. Backhand sauce from the red line, empty net. Pretty classy stuff there.
Yeah, and he's had a terrific game.
He's rewarded there with appearing on the score sheet because he's done so much that won't show up on the score sheet in this hockey game for Western.
Especially at the dot, he's been terrific. As Ness is tied up at center ice with Hakkarainen. Whistles are blowing left, right, and center. The Lawson Lunatics are showing their displeasure.
Not entirely sure what happened there.
We're coming up on that 2-year anniversary of almost 3 years now with Tucker Ness coming out of the box to fight against Alaska Fairbanks. He'll head to the box. That saw him suspended for quite a while, but a cross-check from him will send Western Michigan to the power play with 1:36 to go, and that's probably about all she wrote here for Arizona State.
Yeah, and I think Western's just going to send 5 guys out. I don't know if it's going to be a power play unit. They don't need to up 3 with this stage here, but Western, again, they killed almost 2 minutes off the clock with just an offensive zone time possession, and the Sun Devils were absolutely gassed out there, and Western's dominance is showing tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like that Western Michigan will send out a power play unit. Just the one defenseman, Sam Scholand, looking to put an exclamation point on this evening. Valente at the right point. 90 seconds to play in regulation. Slukinski, tip attempt from Wisdom goes wide. Valente far corner. To the point now with Scholand. Left side with Slukinski. Now back to Scholin. Across for Valente. One-timer. Rebounds there. Wisdom hacks at it. Another one from Hendricks. Hasley gets the better of it. Hendricks behind the net. Fires it in front. Rebounds there. Wisdom's there for it. Does it cross the line? No. Referee signals no goal. As Wisdom was at the side of the net, he thought it went in, but the referee emphatically gives the quick no-goal call.
Wisdom's going to the bench for a flyby here as if he scored this goal.
The referees will converge. Sterling Egan and Trevor Wolfhard once again.
Just a very strange play here.
It was a quick conversation between the referees. Getting a look at it at the corner boards, as you could call it here in Lawson Arena.
So that puck does go in.
But Wisdom.
But did the whistle go?
Did the whistle go, and Wisdom push the pad of Hasley across the goal line. I believe that's probably what they're calling it, as the puck does come out of the zone.
Because even without the push of the pad and stuff, you can't review if the whistle went before the puck crossed the goal line. That is simply just an unreviewable play. So a bit of a quick whistle helps Connor Hasley's save percentage, I guess, and goals against average.
Western Michigan is going to challenge this play. So head coach Pat Hirschel is...
They really want this sixth goal.
They want everything out of this game. Up 5-2 with just over a minute to go. They want another. They want to pad that power play statistic, which tonight has gone 1 for 3.
So the confusing part about this replay is that the puck obviously does cross the goal line, but it got washed out immediately. So the question is, did it get washed out because there was a whistle, or did it get washed because if it got washed out because of interference, then potentially Wisdom would have gotten called for that. So I don't know what they're exactly challenging. I think it was goaltender interference.
I would have to agree with you, partner. I mean, it's one of those confusing plays where you see it in hockey all the time. It can honestly go 50-50 depending on the referee crew. The rule isn't super clear as to whether pushing the goaltender's pad into the net. It's kind of up to circumstance, but I mean, for Arizona State here tonight, it was a valiant effort for a decent amount of this game. They were outmatched for quite a while, but
they just dug themselves too big of a hole.
Yeah,
simple.
That 3-0 deficit that they fell to about 10 minutes into the first period is really looking back at by head coach Greg Powers as probably something that didn't happen.
Well, yeah, you start the first 15 minutes on the road in a series against the number 4 team in the country down 3-0 and somehow claw your way back to within 1. And obviously they're down 3, potentially 4 if this challenge is successful for Western. But again, Western, they've just been so consistent. I said machine-like, and it reigns true. Every shift seems so consistent in their efforts, and that over time has just snowballed into this.
The referees are still talking in the penalty box. Very long review for a 5-2 hockey game with a minute left.
Maybe a bit of an FU from Western to Arizona State for not only one in a 3-goal game with under 90 seconds left or 2 minutes left, sending out your top power play unit, but then 2, a goal going in and then challenging said goal.
That just kind of stands to the testament that Pat Hirschel instilled 5 years ago when he joined this program. I mean, they take every single game, every minute of every game so seriously, like it's the national championship.
And I mean, there's a reason we were talking about this on our travel day yesterday. Mullet Arena opened in the fall of 2022 for Arizona State. Western Michigan hasn't fallen out of the top 20 since October of 2021. That is incredible. An incredible run for any program. Not even falling out of the top 20.
And that is almost certainly going to continue through the remainder of this regular season. Barring an absolute collapse from the Broncos. I mean, they sit at number 4, up 5-2 day 1 against the Sun Devils.
I mean, even like you look at the rest of the NCHC, even going forward, like Duluth in conference is sub 500. They're a top 10 team.
Here's the answer. So they end up calling it a goal. It's a goal for Zachariah Wisdom on the power play, his second power play goal of the season. It's now 6-2 Western Michigan, and Connor Hasley is irate on the other side of the ice. He's yelling stuff at the referees. And that's exactly what we were talking about. That play is such 50-50 in hockey, whether a push of the pad across the goal line is a goal or no goal. And in this instance, it's the 6th for Western Michigan.
On their 45th shot, no less.
Yeah, it's been a hard day for Connor Hasley. He's faced an onslaught. Be curious to see who starts tomorrow for Greg Powers, as Hasley has not had a bad game whatsoever. It's just the onslaught hasn't helped him out at all. In the final 45 seconds of regulation with Volk, as Western Michigan will just dump it in. It's a 6-2 lead for them against the Arizona State Sun Devils, who are making the trek to Lawson Arena for the first time since 2017, their second year as an NCAA program. It's Carmelo Crandall who pushes Volk forward, trying to get to the puck. Hakkarainen faces a check from Ness. Power sends his fourth line onto the ice for the final few seconds of this game. Keene will dump it in. 5 seconds to go in regulation. Western Michigan, the number 4 team in the nation, proves it here tonight at home, improving to 7-5 in Lawson Arena, 21-8 on the season. It's their 13th conference win, whereas the Sun Devils once again fall to the Broncos. It's their 4th straight loss of the season. Captain Kyle Smolin immediately walks off the ice. He leads the team off, as for the Sun Devils, it was a rough start to begin. 3 goals in those first half of the game, first period. And from then on out, it was pretty much all Western Michigan. Kyle Smolin gave it pretty much all that he had to claw his way back, but unfortunately for him and Arizona State, it just wasn't enough.
Just the consistency of Western Michigan is so strong, and when they're backstopped by Hampton's Lukinski, I mean, that's just a recipe for success all around. And Arizona State, they had a really good effort for a while there, and they showed that they can hang, they can compete, and they're a good team. And you and I both truly believe they are a good team, but Western Michigan is a juggernaut, plain and simple. Their top 6 is one of the best, if not the best, in the nation. Their D-core is very solid in all aspects. They have a ton of guys who are on the ice in positive moments, and they have arguably one of the best goaltenders in the country. Put all 3 of those together, and you get the 4th-ranked team in the country on home ice, and that alone is hard enough. And when you dig yourself a hole and go down 3-0, you can't really expect yourself to get anywhere closer than within 1.
Yeah, and the defending national champions as well. I mean, there's just so many nicknames you could give this Broncos team, and they played like every bit of their name. I mean, from each stat, 46-27 are the shots, 42-20 are the face-offs. It was over double the face-off wins for Western Michigan. Arizona State falls once again. Currently around the league, it's a 2-1 lead for Denver over Omaha, the end of the second period. Colorado College leads St. Cloud on the road 4-3 at the end of the second. And then your final here from Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. It's a 6-2 victory for the number 4 team in the nation and the defending national champions, Western Michigan Broncos, over the Arizona State Sun Devils. But for my partner, Lochlan McTeague, my name is Colgin Hirschel. Thank you so much for joining us here in Kalamazoo. We'll be back here tomorrow for Game 2 of this series. Puck drop scheduled for 6 o'clock East Coast time. Once again, we thank you for joining us. We say so long for now from Kalamazoo, and we'll see you tomorrow night.